Go ahead.
We made our way back to a much more quiet, mostly abandoned Goblinville, but still residing there in the heart of it all, around the well, which you've climbed down, of just knotted vines that basically made a ladder for you. Still standing in that room up above was a very large, well-armored, more sophisticated brute of a hobgoblin. Him and a goblin shaman, along with some strange plant-like creature, and a few last lingering guards were still there defending that room. You managed to dispatch them after drawing them out into the mostly abandoned Goblinville city, quote unquote, and put them down. You've descended down the well into the down, and basically come upon a phosphorescent fungal garden, and there's scents, there's traces of the Underdark swallowing up this lower portion of this fortress that you're crawling your way through. You fought off 2 undead gardeners and 2 more plant-like creatures, while hearing the sounds of a large bugbear with his 2 little rat friends to the north of you. They had a little bit of a holdout armory slash little den up here, walled off from further passage much further north. But again, you could see traces of natural cavernous walls, all with a familiar feeling of the Underdark. Based on your tracking, or believe that the dragon, the white wormling corpse that was hauled and lowered down here, was dragged into the door to the south. The door, or the passage to the north, is where this bugbear was. And basically, we left off right here after dispatching 2 very, very simple goblin commoners. You followed them back to where they came from, which is this door to the east, which you are peering in quietly and can hear sounds of like hammering, mortar and pestles, little goblin voices, some snoring here and there. Basically, a bit of another small den of goblins lies immediately to the east. And it's here that we pick back up in the lower levels of this fortress.
Oh.
It's awesome. Okay. Dave, don't let us stop you if you want to start singing anytime.
Anytime, Dave.
Whenever it feels
you're
right.
ready. Really
just a moment. Hold on.
Just really trying to find that voice.
This is the best part. Hold on.
Yeah.
The lyrics will come. Don't force it.
I'm not going to. I'm not going to.
Gentlemen, I must be frank here. I have to find out how to end this curse. I must be returned to my former...
You keep talking about this curse. What are you talking about?
What is the curse?
I've been cursed. I used to be... I had a vision the other night about...
You always have visions.
The door is open. The door is open. Maybe we close the door.
Please listen to my story.
I come in.
Important.
I step in and close the door behind me.
Okay.
And I follow right behind you.
Into the room.
Oh yeah, I'm right
Ezric,
behind you.
Ezric, your tales have never failed me. I'll listen to your tales.
Ezric's falling behind and he's just continuing to talk about his mission.
I shut the door in his face.
It appears they're being quite
quietly. and I put my head and I do.
Ezric, tell me about your curse.
I've been cursed with becoming dead and deformed and decayed. I used to be some much more powerful and much more ranked of a hero.
Well, you're pretty rank right now.
I must find a way to be returned to my former glory.
Who put this curse upon you?
That's a great question.
Did you say we were listening at the door? there's on?
Those of you on the inside of the closed door while the exterior conversation continues, see 2 rows of familiar, like dragon carved marble columns. The stench in here is very clear that goblins have been living in this vicinity. You see immediately a bit of a workroom in the middle, tables everywhere, and a bunch of doors that are all partially ajar while someone's just drilling into that flute.
It's the snake flute.
The hall.
You do the blowing, I'll do the fingering.
The hall is quite long, Alien, as you kind of get a good look down here. You don't see any doors other than the 3 to the north and the 3 to the south. But the cobbled floor is cracked, stained, clearly not well maintained. And Oscar, you and probably Zahn and Alien get a very familiar scent of crushed herbs and basically things that remind you of basically herbalism and alchemy, like lots of mortar and pestles on tables, things like that. Small tools, bowls filled with crushed leaves, little bits of fungus stalks, mushroom caps here and there. And again, every door in here is partially open. You can immediately hear some snoring to the north, Alien, as well as some grinding, like a continuous, dull, low grinding sound emanating from the room to the south. Fortunately for you, there's no goblins milling about in this common hall at the moment. You seem to have caught them at a late hour or unawares of your approach.
As we walk in, I kind of stop them like a mom at a stoplight, putting her hand across the passenger seat, right?
What's happening?
Goblins slumber in this hall. And I point to like all the doors around us, and I say something big is scattering to the south. And that's all I say.
Okay.
I pose no solution.
I go to like walk back out.
You
look at
catch
Zahn.
me and Ezric mid-conversation.
There's goblins in the next room.
Oh, goblins.
Ezric, you have the power of foresight. Are we going in the correct direction? Which way should we go?
Oh, ever since I was downed by that man.
Can I roll as well just to see if I can't, I don't know, stop any of this with a natural 20?
Dude.
Well, you should. You definitely should, considering like what
Like a
Don's
tower
about to
of
do.
pots or something. You just knock
Yeah.
me.
Don is
You're like, well,
is quietly
Zahn-
making his way towards the table that's just stacked with bowls of mortars.
Zahn's annoyed that he can still hear Ezric talking. And so he's like, Dave would just be quiet, and then he steps back and bumps into that big pile, and it.
Oh my god! What just happened?
I did ask for that. I did
Yeah,
ask
no, you
for
totally
that
did.
specifically.
What happened?
Zahn, you
At
bumped
the
the
last
shit out of
second.
that. Yeah.
But like you Peter Parker all the plates onto your
Yeah.
hands.
No.
Like,
There is
I can
like the
call it.
jankiest Jenga tower of bowls just stacked up next to each other, and like some weird slime from all of the crushed vegetation and fungus. And you bump it, and you could just see them alien like falling in
Can I
slow
describe it?
motion. Yeah, please.
Oh yeah, you don't even understand what you see, Zahn, because it almost feels like I'm at more places than once at one point in time. Almost like my hands are disappearing out of sight and appearing around you, and they're grabbing all these things that are falling everywhere and stacking them quickly, faster than you've ever seen anything happen. It almost feels surreal to you,
clearly he was a top-notch waiter
Almost.
previously.
almost plainly, like I was able to somehow, in this frantic moment, I could just move things around you fast, but not staying in one place.
And
Almost,
like,
it's confusing.
you dip his head and you give him a kiss.
You're holding all of these things, trying to set them back down, and again, like you kind of hear goblinoid voices both to the north and south of you, in these slightly open doorways. managed to
Watch
save
your
Zahn
step.
this time.
Don't worry, I've got plenty of ones to roll. Okay, that was amazing. Do you think we should check out the sound? I'm gonna check out the sound very quietly.
He said confidently.
I said quietly.
Let's get that in that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do you want to kill everything here? What are you trying to do?
I'm just trying to see. We're trying to get out.
you kind of peer in and see two goblinoid
Like-
forms going round and round a crude kind of barrel. It almost looks like they're in there trying to mash things up in a large quantity.
Okay.
I want. Can I whistle back to the rest of the team? It's like this, caw, but it sounds like a
ranger
bird that would live in
whistle.
a cave.
Listen.
Yes. I whistled directly to someone who I know would understand that whistle.
It sounds like an alien. We should go.
Ezric's ears perk up and he understands that he must go.
What? Ezra.
And I should say,
Come, foolish old man, we must head forward to our friends.
Nyalian does this because he thinks of every time that him and Zahn have gone off on their own and how many times they fucked it up, and we already almost just did. So that's why he turns back and was like, I'm gonna do things differently this time.
The ranger whistle says goblins milling about. Next room, south. Quickly.
He says it. I hope you say it as you walk in the door. I'm like, that's exactly what it said. Row. Your ears are phenomenal.
I
Ezric's
grab
impressed by the communication.
Urki and we move to the wall.
Okay.
Peek my head over.
I'm coming too.
Nalian, why are you holding all of these pots and pans?
Here, help me set them. Oh, I'll set them down quietly. I already rolled good enough.
Ezric closes the door behind us.
Is there enough, Fiddy? Is there enough like stuff on this table for me to actually put together an herbalism kit?
You
I am proficient.
Yeah,
pretty
you,
cool.
you scan out into the room. If you could make an intelligence nature check.
Intelligence, no, but I'm gonna try.
You nailed it. Oh, it showed
Okay,
4 on
medicine.
my screen.
Hang on, that's medicine. It was supposed to be nature.
Oh, you rolled it. I'll take the 11. I'll take the 11.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you rolled the
Same
same
number.
either way.
Yeah, you think looking at the supplies. Now, unfortunately, this is on like all of the tables throughout the room. You would need to gather up some stuff. But basically, you think you could actually put together the makings of a healer's kit, an herbalism kit, and even enough strange things spread around here that you think you could put together some alchemist supplies.
Oh. You want some gold?
Yeah, I set out to start doing that.
Okay.
Help me gather
You
some
can
gold.
certainly take a few things out of Nalian's hands to start.
Nalian, that's perfect. Here, put that in this bag.
That's a pot. It's a dirty pot.
I put it in his bag. He may want it, so I give it to him.
Okay.
Nice.
It does smell rank.
Yeah, it's got green gloop in it. What are you doing?
What about a brewer's kit? Is there like maybe half the stuff?
My ears perk.
There's
Yes.
no time for beer, old man.
No, there's
always time
always.
for beer.
I put my finger to Rose. There's always time for beer, Ro.
He suddenly gets young for a second.
I wouldn't mind wetting my whistle.
Okay. Well, you can certainly gather up all of those materials. You would have to basically comfortably sweep the rest of the room, but you have
Yeah.
the makings of those three things. Nothing in the way of a brewer's kit in here, from what you can tell immediately.
Sure.
Again, Zahn, you're not sure exactly what they're doing. They might be making some sort of crude wine in a big vat in this room to the southwest.
Okay.
It smells a bit like stale, sort of fermented fruit.
So, sticking my head in, I mean, not all the way in, like I'm peeking in. Do I see, is this, what does the room itself look like? Is there another door? Are there multiple doors? Is this a single room?
Tell you what, why don't you make a perception check just to see.
Rose's head
see
pops
without
over his.
peeking in too much.
Can
Okay.
I help?
No, not on a perception check.
Okay.
You look in and you see a square room, and the goblin heads are just barely visible above the big steep sides of this vat, and they're kind of just and like clearly just stomping on stuff, and you can smell it's kind of pungent now, some mix of like poor goblin hygiene and like weird dungeon wine. Fucking being crafted
Toilet wine.
in this room.
Ugh.
It's brown
it's-
wine.
Bathtub wine sounds disgusting, but this is like a whole new level.
I could get behind this.
What do you see in there?
They are making goblin toilet wine.
Two thieves.
Oh, it's better
Yes.
than nothing.
Two goblins inside. I say we go around. And
Your hand accent is wild. I can
Thank you.
barely understand it.
Yeah, I've been practicing. As soon as like one of them kind of, or they're both. I mean, can they see the
You see
door at all?
Two figures. I mean, like no, like they would have to be like hearing something and looking over the edge. Like you're seeing the tops of their short goblin heads go around in a slow circular fashion, counterclockwise. And Nalian,
Okay.
it's very clear to you that there are loud, audible snores just kind of echoing out of the door to the northwest.
Oh.
John,
Okay.
you're moving across.
I pin myself
quietly.
against this wall
Why
and
don't we?
peek into that room.
You know, it's one thing that's always a struggle and will never be perfect is non-initiative out of combat stuff, but we should try to just get into a flow of like, real quick, everyone just give us like the elevator pitch of what your character would be doing. So Casey,
Okay.
Nalian's moving up towards the snoring door.
Once I heard the snoring,
Yeah.
I grounded me to where the enemies were,
Okay.
and I do it quietly.
Okay. Row. We should go in like marching order, like from the tip of the spear on
Yeah.
down, probably.
Hey, why don't we go to the? You want to do the party sheet thing where
Yeah, I love that.
just
We can just do it literally in a 1, 2, 3, like single file line order, you know,
yeah.
just so we know.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Since I almost fucked this up.
I guess so. Which way's first? North?
Order. Yeah, let's make north first. North makes the most amount of sense to me.
Yeah. I agree.
I like
Look, we
this.
could go side to
I like
side
this.
if we want. Look,
Yeah.
it's 2-dimensional.
I can be like off to the side a little bit.
Yeah. All right.
Sure.
So yeah, I almost say that Ro might even be one ahead of me. in this.
Okay.
Well,
oh shit!
I was
Look at hold on.
only.
Look at this. You can.
I'm-
There's a watch order. So yeah, like Zahn, you'd be first.
Yep.
Whoa, how are you editing that?
Oh,
Well,
the
so like if
watch.
we put, I guess higher. Like we'll put higher or slower for now. All right. Here. Zahn, you'll be 0. Nalian, do you want to
Yeah,
be 1? Row 2.
That's
and then
cool.
Ezra or
Oh.
Oscar.
I'm
Oh.
last.
Oh wait, sorry. Okay. Who's last?
I think Ezric would be, wouldn't
No, Oscar's last.
he? Okay,
he's,
Oscar's
he's old. He's incredibly old.
There you go.
Okay.
Cool.
But he's clean.
99.
yeah, super clean.
Okay.
So.
So we're at row now, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to keep an eye on Nalian. Like I feel like a new camaraderie that we're speaking through whistles now. Like I'm confident he's a ranger, but at the same time, Zahn has a tendency to totally fuck up. So I've got my focus fixed on him, and I'm gonna try and support him.
Okay.
Are you saying that you whistled that to me? Sign that to me.
I'll whistle it. It just sounds like I'm breathing heavily, like.
Okay.
But it comes out like, I'm gonna try and support Zahn, and I'll try not to let him die by means of rat.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
gonna try. I'm just gonna understand this as best I can. Hold on, give me a second here, Fiddy. This is just for my own how I want to take it. You know?
Uh huh.
I feel like I took it pretty good. Yeah, I got that.
Yeah. Okay.
That information.
Ezric.
Oh, it's my turn.
Well, I mean, it's like it's a loose thing. I mean, if you need to interject,
Okay.
just go for it. Just trying to get
If
the
you wanna
elevator
do
pitch
anything
of
or-
what you'd be doing as you approach a potentially sensitive situation.
Yeah, sure. So Ezric's kind of leaning against the wall next to the doorway that he just entered. And he's kind of he's waiting at attention. He would pretty much be able to hear something that would be coming up to the door, I would imagine, and following the lead of the rest of the group, just observing.
So would you hold here, sorry, or would you push up against that wall a little bit further?
I would hold.
Okay. And then Oscar,
Oh,
you're kind of just
gathering
examining.
up supplies.
Okay. Put you near that table.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And I want to. My goal here is I want to quietly try to find a way to escape. So I want to see inside this door here, and eventually this door here.
Yeah.
To try to find a way out. I'm
Okay.
being very quiet.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna do a subtle skill challenge. Nothing crazy.
Oh.
Basically, you're trying to sneak around. It's clearly a bit later and fairly quiet in here for whatever reason.
Oh.
Let's just say you don't want to fuck up 3 times. And you just need to beat a
Okay.
DC of 10 when you're sneaking
Okay.
around, kind of taking in the room. So anytime
Okay.
you cross by a very sensitive thing, like a door, you got to make me a stealth check.
All right. I can do that. Yeah.
You can do
Ooh.
that.
Oh yeah. So
Uh-oh.
immediately in the south central chamber here, out of the 3 doors, you can hear several goblin voices. One of them's like pounding on the sounds of like flesh. And you see them like working almost like surgeons in the emergency room on some giant creature in the center of the room. It looks almost rat-like, but way too big and a bit different. But there's 3 goblins standing around this thing, actively focused and engaged on this thing that's clearly strapped or tied down to the table.
Is Zon like terrified instantly at
It
this
smells
giant rat?
like the
No.
weird goblin wine smells almost
No.
like majestic to you in comparison to the odors coming out of this room.
I turn and just try to get Rose's attention, and I hold up 3. Since I
What is
don't
it?
speak
What
your
is that? What does that mean? 3? Are you giving me the peace sign? And okay, Horn, you're jerking off. All right, I'll just whisper it to me. All right, I'll make a skill check for that.
Oh,
Whoa, what is
I rolled
that?
the wrong one.
you used a D12 or 10
Yeah,
or
take
something.
that.
It's a
Take that.
handicap.
Yeah, it's a handicap. I rolled the wrong one.
What do you-
Oh, no.
What skill? What skill?
Did you roll? Yeah. What are you doing?
But isn't the skill challenge whenever I cross a door?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
but
making a
it's
stealth,
stealth.
check.
Are you
Oh.
trying to perceive something? What are you trying to do?
I don't know. I don't know how this shit works.
Well, that would be a 6 plus 3 for a 9.
Okay.
You kind of bump the table, and Oscar, your eyes immediately light up like, "Don't break that! I need that for the thing." And you make a bit of noise. Zon, you immediately notice that one of the goblins kind of stops and like looks out, scans for a moment, and then kind of goes back to it.
Oh.
Nalian,
But he's aware.
you probably heard or saw the 3. As they clock this door, you still hear snoring sounds from the door immediately in front of you. What would you like to do?
First thing I want to do is get up shoulder to this door
Okay.
and peek in, see what I can see.
All right.
I know something big is snoring in here.
Yeah. I mean, like much like some of these other chambers, it's feeling pretty symmetrical in design. Basically, a square chamber You're peeking in. You see it's basically a rough barracks. There's about 16 small pallets of matted fur just spread all over the floor, like some fucking weird, YMCA sleepover night. And two of the pallets are currently holding a much larger, more normalish looking sleeping goblin, and then there are two smaller goblins sleeping nestled near it. Almost looks like a small goblin family.
Oh, you said family.
Ah.
I hate them all. They're all gonna die.
They all appear sound asleep at the moment.
That implies
I,
children.
Does it look like I can lock the door from the outside? And it's like there a way I can barricade it or lock it so that they can't open it?
Not
don't have to get
really.
daylight.
You can see that the door opens inward towards them. That's pretty accurate on the map there.
Uh-huh.
You can certainly close the door. There is like a latch around it.
Mhm.
If you want to use your own idea, go for it, or you can maybe make a survival check.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll survival. I'm gonna survival this.
Okay.
I'm gonna survivalist.
Let's see, where's my survivaling?
Survive.
It's good to get a hint. If it's bad, you get a
Survivals?
fail.
Heyo.
You think, hey, I could probably use these very large, still very intact pillars and basically do one of your very skilled ranger knots to basically use the latch handle of the door and wrap it around some of the pillars. And your survival is so good that you can certainly do this all quietly enough and get a success on that skill challenge board there.
I do it. I do exactly that.
Okay.
Hey, Fiddy, can I ask something about skill challenges?
Sure.
Are we just trying to not fuck up, or is there a particular like if we get 5 successes, something good happens, opposed to like I only care about failures?
In many situations, it's usually that duality. In this case, because you're just freely trying to like pillage, scout, and go around a very active room or chamber with connected rooms, it's more of like this is your ticking clock situation, and if you fuck up, then you'll probably alert someone. But if you're good enough, you can kind of like use your abilities to have your way with this area of the dungeon.
Okay. So I have a quick question, just so that we can't what do you call it, exploit this in any way.
Yeah.
In a game scenario, in this kind of room, you would literally walk out of the room and it would unalert everybody. How would we go about like failures and successes? Do you know what I mean, like if we lose the heat?
It would be a factor of time, right? Like if you alerted someone, they'd probably be on edge, and I would try to play them like if I was a scared goblin guard who maybe heard about some shit that went down.
That makes
and all
sense.
the other goblins probably came through here at some point earlier because they had to go somewhere.
It's not
that kind of
mechanical in
idea.
that respect.
No, yeah,
It's more
very
organic.
yeah, it's very organic.
That makes more sense. Okay, cool.
Okay. So, Nalian, you're making work of this. Oscar, you're continuing.
Well, I want to whisper to Oscar.
Yeah.
Do you know of any way we can light a fire?
I can light fires.
I give him a wink. All right, I might need your services.
There's some alchemist supplies in here. I think I can make a fire flask out of one of them. Maybe, if I'm especially nimble. Maybe.
Listen, I don't like goblins, but I rather waste my ammo on the important ones right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if
I
these
hate
guys become a problem, I want to light them up.
Okay.
Oh my god.
And I say that as I tighten the last knot.
Okay. Okay. Great. Ro. Well, you went first actually. Then we went to Nalian.
I did.
Ezric and Oscar, you guys are up. What are you doing? Just continuing on there, Oscar.
I want to see if it's possible, because like, okay, once I have like an herbalism kit, it's possible I can create a healing potion from the supplies that I can gather. With the alchemist supplies, I want to see if it's possible for me to put together something that can, like a fire flask, even if it's like a diet fire flask, where it's something that can start a fire.
Oh yeah. Okay. Why don't you? like... Man, it's tough because I want to say it would be like a nature check again, but I feel like you'd have some proficiency with this stuff, but I guess you don't.
I'm proficient in herbalism kits and brewer's supplies.
Okay. Yes.
Damn,
now
that's what
see,
you're doing.
and like we hardly ever use it, right? It's a very just like the skill challenge in general. Tool proficiency is super abstract in this, but basically, if you are proficient in a tool, and that could be like dice games or whatever, you can make a check that uses that proficiency, and then it's kind of like picking a lock where you'll say like, oh, it's actually dexterity plus your proficiency bonus, whatever that is. So for you, Oscar, I would definitely say like your wisdom would be a part of your herbalism kit usage. So your bonus would be +5, and you can just add lines to your skill sheet if you want to add something like that in there for like tool or proficiency. We could probably do something to put it like at another category.
Because I made like a history for stonework.
Yeah, and then you can just save that stuff on there, because I think we should use that stuff more, but it's always easy to forget about.
Would we put that in the skills?
Yeah, so skills you can basically just add custom lines to. Now there might be times where I ask you to make like an herbalism kit and use a different stat for some weird reason, but it could definitely happen. In that case, you would just have to swap out the stat or modify the roll.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
So yeah, herbalism kit. So you would be proficient in that, so you get a +5. There you go.
Nice.
Hey-o.
Okay. Yeah, that is a success. And you find enough materials already to start crafting this little fucking Molotov cocktail potion.
Nice, dude.
It's going to take you a few rounds to do that. But you kind of get your shit and just start making short work on this table here. Ezric, Urki's just kind of chilling with you. Are you lurking and waiting for your scouts here to do work?
So Ezric's feeling a little impatient at this point, and he's going to walk to this door here.
Okay.
And do I have to roll a stealth check or anything for that, or is that like maybe when I open the door?
Yeah. What exactly are you trying to do? You let's say you're approaching the door.
Yeah. So Ezric's approaching the door, and as he's approaching the doorway, he's going to use mage armor and apply the shadowy armor to himself. That he wants to be constantly under that effect. So.
I would, yeah. I mean, I'm happy because you've chosen to spend one of your precious Eldritch points on mage armor. Mage armor is an at-will spell for you. It lasts for 8 hours. You don't need to do anything to maintain it. I think thematically, again, there might be like a weird situation where I get more specific about it, but in general, 90% of the time, I think we can just assume that this is like your worn armor now. Like you just have this like writhing, shadowy visage upon your body at all times.
Yeah, so as he's approaching the doorway, he's his shadowy armor just encompasses his face. His face was showing before, but now it's just he's this dark shadowy figure, and he approaches the doorway and just starts to stealthily and carefully open up the doorway.
Okay. Yeah, make a stealth check.
Yeah, almost there. Hua!
Oh yeah.
That's a mighty stealth check.
I'd say each skill check has its own potential immediate rewards instead of trying to get like 5 successes on the board. You peer into this north central chamber. Again, another square room, 2 very large workbenches, basically tables, long tables, and in front of each of them is a goblin with like head wraps around there. He's got a little hammer. He's like tinkering away. They appear to be fixing and repairing armor. 2 very simple goblin commoners are in here, hunched over, haggard. There's like leather patches that they're basically hammering in and then like sewing at times with like thick cord and big needles. They are very focused on their work, which has allowed you to peer into the room without being noticed. Just tink, tink.
Guys, they're so poor. They're like common goblins.
Can Ezra do anything else, or is that's?
I mean, you can finish and reposition yourself. Sure. I mean, it's kind of like free flow.
So Ezra sees these two goblins. How well lit is this room? Like, is it lit by torchlight? Or
yeah. There's like there's a torch basically on this side of the wall, giving off like a flickering dim light in here.
Okay, so Ezra enters the doorway shadowy and secretly, and just closes the doorway behind him.
Oh damn!
Okay.
You're trapped in here with me.
You close the door behind you. These guys do not appear to have noticed you yet. 1 second.
Does everyone see him do this, or is it?
Yeah, Zahn, Ro, and Nalian would have definitely seen this. Oscar is facing this way, I believe, kind of tinkering with things. Urki is kind of watching nearby Oscar. You all see this happen, yeah. And I guess for the sake, are you just trying to quietly stay in here?
Yeah.
Okay. Zahn.
I just move next to Ro and I whisper very quietly, I think it is probably time to leave. I think this is just a goblin village. I don't know if it's worth exploring everything that is in here.
I think our friend has gone and started to explore himself, and I head nod over to where Ezeric shut the door.
I just look over there, and then I look back at Ro, and I just kind of shrug, like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do with that.
He will surely alert the rest if he is found.
Yeah, well, that was his choice. We should probably leave.
Just fucking let him die.
Sounds getting real hungry down here on this prison break.
I mean, I don't know what
a true hero you are. And then I shrug and I walk up towards the door.
Okay. And are you just staying near it?
I'm gonna put my ranger hand up on the door. I'm gonna feel for. I'm gonna kind of like scoot it open just a hair and like feel for like vibrations. I feel like I don't have a lot of time since like when he closed the door, so like I'm just getting ready to like fly in there if I gotta do it.
Okay. Why don't we roll initiative for real, just in case this goes south.
This is going south, boys.
Son of a bitch.
20! Wow! Holy
man,
shit, and a 19 plus 1. Damn, you guys fucking
rolling.
murdered.
I'm getting it. Just give me goddamn.
Zahn, you see Ro.
Yeah.
You holding? What are you doing?
I'm just going to very stealthily wait until the goblins in the chamber below are not paying attention, and then just move over and look in this door real quick.
Okay. Make a stealth check for me.
Yeah, I can do that. Maybe. Oh, how about butt fucking barely?
You are like clocking Ezric and Ro, and almost make a blunderous move as you make your way to the last door to the east. And you peer in, and you see, 1 second, it's basically an empty, caved-in room with a path that leads down to the south. It kind of opens up, just like where the bugbear and his rat pets were, opens up in this very natural, rough cavern pathway.
Can anyone in my party see me from where I'm at right now? Or am I blocked?
Ro still could. Nalian and Urki could see enough of what's going on to see you're moving.
Whoa.
Can is anyone like looking at me or paying attention?
I don't know.
I just kind of want to gesture, basically. I'm just kind of looking around and just being like,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're a moving object. You would have caught their peripheral.
okay.
Rogue lets out like kind of like a ghostly whistle towards Nalian to let him know what Zan's doing.
Okay, got it.
That's all I do.
Nalian. What are you doing?
Oh, it's my turn. Okay, well. Shit. I hustle on over to Ro to get a better conversation going.
Okay, you have to duck under the very taut rope that is here.
Okay, I was gonna say, because the door is already closed, I don't have to do anything, but
Yeah.
it is the rope, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
I did remember it was there, I just didn't think I had to do anything about it.
No, you don't have to do anything. I just remind you that it is there.
Yeah.
You move in behind Ro, and sorry, you're just holding, or?
I say, Ro, what is the plan of attack?
Ezric's gone up ahead. That fool Zan, he's sauntered off by himself. I feel like there's present danger with Ezric. We should support him as quickly as we can. I have my hand on the door here. I'm feeling for vibrations.
Okay. I am going to wait on Ro's count. If when he opens that door, I'm going to use my last bit of movement to jump here and fire at the first goblin that I see, because I know this is a goblin village.
Okay. Okay. So you're gonna hold?
Yeah, I say, Ro, I will go on your mark.
Okay.
Alright, we'll wait on the elvish count of 3.
Three?
Yeah, 3. You know, once, dose, 3.
Oscar, if you're continuing to work on your potion, you can make another herbal kit check.
Oh god. Oh god.
You light yourself on fire.
Oh god,
Whoa!
you're impressed with your handiwork and basically finish it this round.
I make 2. Yeah.
Yeah, you make 2.
Yeah.
Dude, I love that.
Output, thank you.
You can just call it like a fire flask or something. Just put it in your inventory.
You find a beer on the table.
Ooh. Toilet wine.
Yep.
Ezric, you can feel someone pulling on the door behind you, kind of almost pushing it open slightly, but you are body blocking it currently as you look at these 2 goblins working away.
So, sorry for a technical
It's
meta
okay.
question or
Yeah.
whatever. So if I put out the torchlight, how much light would be in this room? Would it be pitch black?
Yeah.
All right.
Damn.
So Ezric's shadowy form from the doorway starts to stare at his hand, and it begins to just kind of appear to smoke, but it's not smoke, it's just his arm is getting so cold that it's starting to mist, and a hand of ice erects from his grasp and grabs the torch fire and puts out the light.
Okay. You kind of summon up this ghostly hand, and it moves forward and basically like a ranged attack, knocks the torch to the ground, and everything goes black, and you just can really hear like, and like the 2 goblins are like looking around frantically. One of them, they're both kind of holding like their little tool hammers, nervously standing. You hear them kind of shuffle behind like their tables or their benches here.
Okay.
You can still move, but you used your action to trigger the hand.
Okay. Ezric positions himself behind. I can't see my icon. grab at it. I kind of see it. It's white for some reason. But there's like a work table at the just inside there. He's gonna position himself behind that so the goblins can't
Like
really
there?
see him. Yeah,
Or there?
I think so. I think my map is all. Let me reopen this map. This UI is rough.
1990.
Oh, you have like you're like selecting
Seven.
stuff. I think you were like clicking and selecting things or something.
Yeah. How do I get the map back up?
I'm pushing it to you.
Ooh, I like it.
I like it when you push it.
My icon's
Oh,
so,
fitty.
so weird.
What's going on?
I like can't interact with my icon. Maybe
I think you have like a tool selected up in that top bar.
Oh,
You-
I never even looked at the top bar. Interesting.
If you I don't know what you have to select.
Yeah, I see that. I don't know what I don't know what any of them do. But anyway, there's a that closest to north, like the first table that
Whoa.
you hit there north. I don't know what the hell happened. Should I restart my game?
Maybe.
It's weird, man.
Oh,
It sucks. But I feel like I've had weird shit like that with it.
Yeah. Okay, well you post up. Ro, you suddenly feel like a weight move away from the door. You kind of see the shadow. And then there's a clear, noticeable change in lighting as the light spilling out from underneath the door and through the cracks just completely winks out.
Oh no. Okay. Is it my turn right now? Am I going?
It is your turn, yeah.
All right. So I say that, and then I slide the door. I hit the door open as hard as I can, and then I roll in. So I don't have like dark vision or anything. So do I basically take disadvantage if I attack anything? Can I see anything?
You
if
have
I
dark
go in
vision. You have dark vision.
You're a
at
half
60
elf.
feet.
You have dark
Oh
vision.
shit! I perfectly see both of the the goblins.
Dark. I always have to remember. Dark.
Do I have dark vision? I don't see it in any of my stuff.
You can see
You're
in
a half elf,
darkness as
right?
if it were dim light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Half elves have dark vision.
That's what I thought, but who knows?
Ro, you push the door inward and go tumbling in.
I do like a cartwheel.
Nalian, you move towards line of sight on the door, but just as you do so, you see like the faint silhouette from the light here spilling in and around Ezric, and sorry, one sec.
Thank you.
But like the visibility is rough. Like you're just
Yeah, I
seeing very
don't fire.
faint silhouettes. Ro, you tumble in and basically move past Ezric and put yourself between two very scrawny goblin forms that have clearly noticed you and are recoiling in pure terror. What are you doing?
Am I within striking distance of both of them?
You are, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to scimitar this guy.
Damn.
He
Nice.
ducks and squeals.
And then I'm gonna offhand this guy. Sorry, buddy.
You connect and immediately just and he just starts bleeding out on your blade.
I
Don't even
I
need to roll
push
damage, but you can.
I push my sword up into him upside down, and he gets completely gutted, and his entrails spill out. And I look over towards Goblin Commoner. Oh, form-fitting hat. And I look at him like, don't you fucking say a word.
He just like drops his little tool
Oh no, that's the
hammer.
guy who died. Okay. I look at Loose Hat.
He
I'm-
drops
and
his
I
tool
say-
hammer and just
I go, shh.
and he's just shaking there anxiously. You can Nalian, you can kind of hear and see this, at least well enough to kind of get the gist of the situation.
Mhm.
You want to just hold in this position? There's something else you want to do.
I I do the ranger talk whistle to Ro.
Oh, it sounds like a moth. Do you guys hear that? Oh.
And it just whispers through the air like moth wings flapping.
Oh, yeah.
And it tickles his the hair in his ear canal.
My ear canal hair.
Caresses it, if you will. And it's I say, do you need help? I can't see a thing.
A moth replies, I don't think so.
I move forward to Zahn to see what he's doing.
Okay. You kind of move up with Zahn, who's like peering into the doorway to the southeast here, and we come back to Zahn.
There's a passageway very clearly down through here that leads to the south.
What are we doing with it? We should get out of here. This is a waste of time.
Yeah, but perhaps because, remember, the dragon was dragged to the south, this is a secret way to go. Perhaps it's the only way out.
Is this secret? We found it pretty easily.
Okay, I'll go explore it, and I just check for traps and shit as I move down in this direction.
In this moment, I just want to whistle back, and I hope it gets to him. Maybe it won't, but I hope it gets to him. Which means Zahn is on his own.
I heard.
Well, all right. Here's the deal.
Zahn,
Like,
please, the trombone.
I love all that you guys got going on with that within
I know. We don't,
short
yeah.
range. But unless you want potential other creatures that you just passed to the south to hear you, you could certainly whistle, and Zahn would probably understand what you mean. But to do it loud enough that he could hear you, like a room almost 2 rooms away, you'd have to be pretty loud with that whistle, my man.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
That makes sense.
Zahn.
I refrain.
I'm just going in to look.
Yeah. Make an investigation check for me.
Oh, investigate.
Okay, sure, I can investigate. I'm so
Hey-o.
good. I'm like the best investigator. Yeah.
It's just your monocle.
See.
The room looks empty, but it looks disturbed. If only you had a more... You hate to admit it, but you need a more experienced tracker to make heads or tails out of the situation here.
Okay, I just say, Nalian! Nalian!
Hey!
I have to wait.
Nalian!
I'm resting.
And then can I'm yeah. Can I see anything like
Oh, yeah.
what is this opening at
Yeah.
least? Like what is that? Because I'm sure I have eyes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It
Cool.
trails on and on and on
Cool.
and on and on.
It's a crevasse.
And it gets
Ooh.
wider and darker.
Oh, I'm so intrigued. So
Okay,
interesting.
well, assuming, Ro, you've got that situation under control there. Oscar, you've got 2 fire flasks in hand. We're technically out of initiative, so if
Okay.
why don't Nalian and Zahn, why don't you guys have your moment here, and then we'll change scenes back up to Ro and Ezric.
I think Ezra gets precedence. He went first last time.
Who?
Well, no, I'm just saying, yeah, like, let's just go 1 room at a time.
He
so,
gets-
so Nalian Zahn's kind of, hey, come here.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I can act on this.
Yeah. We're free mode here.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, I thought I almost saw something, but I didn't see the thing I thought I saw. Could you just look around the room?
Nalian, you roll up on Zahn like some fucking idiot in the middle of a crime scene, disturbing
Yep.
everything. Like, this is what you walk in on.
I don't care.
Hey, buddy!
What do you want?
Yeah, I just told you.
I couldn't hear you. I was on the other side of the room, Zahn. You're whispering.
I did say your name kind of loudly, but yes, I was walking through this room and I had a sense that perhaps this room is more than what I thought it was, but apparently I cannot see, and what do your elf eyes see, even though you are human?
Just
look at the-
to be ultra clear, I was implying that you were looking at Zahn like that person in the crime scene, not that
Oh.
Nalian was the person doing that in the crime scene.
Well, I mean, I kind of felt like I was.
Good,
because
perfect.
I just
Okay.
kind of like walked
Yeah.
in here like this, you know.
Yeah.
Zahn walked in all stealth-like, and I walked in
Just like
very,
that.
Nonchalant.
Okay.
So I played up,
There's
Alright.
a passageway.
and I look at the scum on my feet, and I look around to see if I can see anything that's disturbed not by me.
Yeah. Something definitely feels a bit off here. For you, in that line of work, why don't you make a survival check?
Okay, we can put this on my bar, because it's easier on this thing. Here we go!
Oh,
Okay.
that 14.
For whatever reason, it appears from some of the scum, it's actually blood that's mixed with like old
Oh.
fungus and soil and dust, and it appears that something was dragged. You guessed the dragon through here and straight across out to the northern door.
Okay. I relay this information
Oh.
to Zahn.
Oh.
What does this tunnel to the south look like, though? Like, what is that?
Wait, but so the dragon was dragged to the south in the big room, yeah?
Yeah.
And then it was dragged up through here, and then it was dragged north?
Seems kind of fishy.
It seems weird, but I mean, forget this passage. Let's just go try to find the dragon.
But he's Dragon. See what I did there?
I'm gonna.
Oh
I'm
my
gonna
god,
refill
I
my
believe
drink
you
and use
get.
the washroom while you should chat amongst yourselves.
I believe, Kyle, you get disadvantage on the next 8 rolls.
It was
that
a
you-
dad joke. Come on. He was Dragon.
Okay, so I propose we just say forget this chamber, who cares?
Yep.
And we will go in this direction up to the north. And that's what I will do whenever it is my turn to move.
Someone is still pacing. It's so loud.
It's like they're walking very loudly above us and we are like under the floorboards
Yeah.
and we are trying to be quiet.
I want to know who's doing it.
It's like
I've seen that movie.
yeah.
Inglourious Bastard.
Pacing.
Yeah, that's the exact movie. That was the exact movie in my mind.
They need to take their boots off. Just walk with their boots off.
Put the slippers on.
Yeah. Get a carpet.
Where are the slippers?
Fiddy, are you microphone handy right now?
No,
Oh, you're not microphone handy. Shit.
that means we can talk shit about him right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
fuck
wonder
that
if
guy.
I wonder if there is a god. Ezric, do you think there's a god? Someone controlling our every move.
What are you guys talking about over there?
There's for sure I have one. I was about to give an offering to him, but you got in the way.
I got in the way. You locked yourself in a room with 2 goblins.
Can I just remind you that I'm like this shadowy dark figure that doesn't even look human right now?
I can't even see. Where are you?
Like, you don't even know, dude.
Yeah, you're basically just talking to a dark room right now. I'm just like on the outskirts
Where
of
am
it.
I, friend? Who am I? I just murdered a commoner. What have I done?
Is that other goblin still alive?
Yeah, he's alive. I went shh to him and he went shh back to me. He knows what's going on.
I want to do stuff, but I'm afraid. Oh, Fiddy's back.
Yeah, Fiddy's back.
Yeah. So while that was going on in the south, what's going on with goblin friends in the dark? Here?
All right, so right now I don't know if you heard, but it's a dark room and Rose in the middle, and I'm on the outskirts, like out of sight, and Rose basically talking to like the darkness.
Hello,
Yeah.
darkness.
The
my
goblin
old
and
friend.
the goblin and Row have dark vision, so
Oh,
it's
okay.
dark as
Goblin
fuck.
does?
But like
Yep.
yeah, you can get you can see it a little bit.
Alright. Well, I imagine that I'm still like just a silhouette, just an absence of visual information.
I love what you're pouring on, but don't go too far with this. You know, it's cool.
Right.
It's shadowy, but it's mage armor.
That's fair.
Armor of shadows.
I'm gonna give you the stage. Go for it. I whispered shh to him, and he's being quiet.
Okay.
You whispered shush to the goblin?
Yep. And he's being quiet. I murdered his friend.
Okay. Ezric walks in behind Ro and says, you have the bloodthirst as well.
I do.
What shall we do with him?
I think we should probably question him thoroughly first, and then you can have your way with him should he fail to answer our questions honestly.
Alright, I'll do my best to intimidate this one.
Alright, you're a bad cop.
Tell me, Commoner, loose hat. What do you know about this place? What is deeper in the tunnel?
We work for the Dark One.
Dark one.
It's called,
Is he the reason I am the way I am?
Huh?
Do you know about the curse?
Hey. Yes, the whole place cursed.
How do we lift it? I must know how to lift the curse.
Just kind of like gestures towards the workbench where he's sewing armor for a living.
Alright, I see Ezric's shadow, and I'm surprised that I recognize his shadow. I know it just like Ezric, but I've never seen him like this before, and I go, Ezric, is that you? Hey.
Yes, Ro, it is me. And Ezric pulls out his dagger. It's like glistening in the light that's coming through the
What are you doing?
doorway.
Stop. No. Don't do that.
And he moves forward towards Loose Hat.
Wait a minute. It cursed, Ellie. No curse.
Ro takes out his bow, and he pulls back an arrow, and he points it at Ezric. Ezric, what are you doing?
I must know how to lift the curse. If this one doesn't know any answers, then he's of no use to me.
It's clear that he has no answers. He's a retarded goblin. He doesn't know what his own first name. No.
Rockblood, no name. No name.
Why do you care if he lives or dies?
He has valuable information. He knows how many other goblins there are in this little town of theirs, or the way out.
If he has so much information, then why don't you get it from him?
I will. Leave him alone. See yourself out.
See myself out?
Yeah, leave.
Ezra, he says no. No, I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere.
Okay, we'll come back to you in a moment.
Okay.
Oh
shit.
Zahn, you and Nalian clock the path. Nalian sort of gets on this trail that went through here.
I grab Oscar like as we're passing. I'm like, Oscar.
Go.
Yeah, I think there's a way to the north. I think they drag the dragon up through this area. I'm not sure, but Nalian knows way more than I. He should probably lead.
Nalian, are you following along with them there?
Oh, he's muted.
Oh, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to refocus my screen. Take it on.
Oh yeah, sorry. I can always snap it for you.
Oh, thanks. Oh, there you go. Alright. Yeah, I'm coming to you, boys. Excuse me.
Are you like leading the trail, or are you letting Zahn like zealously just take
I do that as I
point?
pass by Oscar and Urki as I take point.
Found a brewing kit.
I did. In my
Oscar,
pocket.
that is a good point. As you are waiting on these guys making their way around, you basically got the herbalism kit crafted, but started making your potions instead. There is still enough supplies on all of these tables in here throughout the room that you could make a full healer's kit and a bundle of alchemist supplies, which are basically tools.
Okay.
But if you want to do that, we can assume you're doing that while these guys are conversing.
Yep.
And
I figured I was doing that the entire time.
yeah. Okay. All good. I'm just gonna leave you hang back for a moment while you're. That up. And
look at this
Urky's trying to help you.
Urky, grab that.
Um,
No, not that. The other thing.
Do you touch him gently on the shoulder when he?
You give him the
Give him
fingers.
some
That's a good herb.
That's an
Not that
onion.
one.
Good job, Urky.
You, Nalian and Zahn come across a square room with tall, open closets, basically made out of wood on the walls, and a door to the northeast. In the closets, you see a bunch of extra weaponry, including like 5 battered and dented scimitars, 6 short bows, a couple quivers with about 40 arrows, give or take.
Are there any like throwing knives, or I mean, I know I have darts, but like something that I can throw?
Yeah, there's probably
more dart ammo.
There's probably like a small bundle of like rusted daggers in here.
So would you just classify that as like for the sake
Dagger.
of simplicity? Oh, as a dagger.
Just treat it like a dagger, yeah.
I don't know that okay. That's fine.
You're doing that. You're kind of moving around the room, taking some shit.
I go straight to the bow and arrows, and I place my hand on all of them, seeing if anyone looks more special than the others.
No,
And I also refill my quiver.
These are functional short
Okay.
bows at best.
Your fingers twang.
Oh,
on
short
the...
bows. I thought they were long bows.
I look at the rusty weapons and just kind of shrug and don't pick anything up and go to the door. Quietly. Very quietly.
Yeah.
So are these better than what we have, I assume, or are they worse than what we have?
No, they're worse.
Okay.
You quietly open the door and see a small chamber to another closed door.
Oh, there's a
Yep.
closed.
I wanna see how long ago I feel like someone passed through here last.
The tracks get sloppy. It's clear that they struggled getting through the door with the carcass that you can tell by now, with like a couple scales here and there, that it's the dragon's body.
I pick up the scales as I see them.
Yeah.
And smell them and give them a little lick.
No,
It's almost
I
like
pocket them.
it's not like what you'd expect. It's almost like a soft shell crab, where it's like not fully old enough to be
Okay.
like a hardened scale.
I see.
That you kind of thought it would be. It's
Okay.
more like a fish scale, if anything, but larger.
Gotcha. Then never mind. I'll
It's
leave
kind
them.
of translucent. I mean, they're still interesting, but
I might take one or two.
I pick it up. I don't.
Can't lick them.
But then
I
I pick
do.
it back up
It's like
again.
you want it. You know, you're like stuck and you're like, I want to take this. What do I do? Well, I'm gonna take it. I don't want it. I don't need it, but I kind of want it.
Yeah, and
Yeah, okay. You're
it's
moving in and
clear that they struggled getting through.
Struggled. Yep.
But they did
But does
definitely
it-
go through
yeah.
here.
can I?
And that, yeah, duration wise, how was? Do I know that? That was the one thing I was looking for.
I mean, between like the rest you guys took and when you first heard them take away that dragon, it's been some time. I mean, I'd probably argue. Did you take a full rest at one point?
We took a
Yes.
full rest
And
inside
after that, right?
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
probably like
It's probably been like
5 or
8
6
hours.
hours.
Because
Okay.
you also took a short rest, I think, at one point.
Probably, I wouldn't doubt. I wouldn't put
Yeah.
it past it, you know.
I'm
It's-
fully recharged, so
I think we did a
rested
long
sometimes.
rest.
Yeah.
I don't remember doing a short rest, but I know we did a long rest
Okay.
when we came down.
Well,
I thought you said
between all
fully
that,
retarded.
between the creeping around and everything, my gut was telling me about 7 or 8 hours, so that sounds
Perfect.
about right. That's
All right.
about how long ago it feels like this thing
wait.
came through. It's probably more like 4 hours if you had to guess, actually.
Can I see Oscar and or
Yeah,
Turkey.
they're kind of like they're going through a bunch of random weird shit out there.
Okay, are they ever looking in my direction, because I'm gonna stand at this doorway until they look over, and then
Yeah.
I'm just gonna kind of gesture like, here, we are going here.
Okay. At one point, Urky clocks you and is like,
We better hurry up. Seems like they're moving on.
and he kind of just points
know.
out. Yeah, he kind of points at you.
I'm right behind Nalian.
Okay. Meanwhile, back in the interrogation chamber,
Yeah, spicy room.
Yeah.
There's a
Ezric
standoff.
says no. Ro has a drawn bow. The goblin is saying no name, and kind of whimpering.
Ezric, I am no stranger to death. I've dealt my fair share of it. But please do not make me your enemy.
Why is it that you care for this goblin?
I simply want to know what we're up against. He could tell us information. There's no need to kill him before questioning.
Tell us, goblin, what are we up against?
How many of them are you in this little town?
Oh, we all work for Dark One. Not many goblins left. Many ran since last night.
He's basically, I mean, imagine a little more broken common than that, but he's basically flying. Yeah, like a lot of them are on the move.
Who is Dark One? Name Dark One.
Not his name, but name. Ashardalon.
Oh, a Shardalon, huh?
Does Ezric
Hear name.
react to
Hear
this?
name.
Would Ezric know about this name?
You can make an intelligence check.
Yeah.
Just main tab there.
Where's...
See if you remember things. Just your intelligence box.
Yeah. There it is.
Oh.
You remember the first thing that you encountered when shambling down the stairs here was a room with several dead goblins, one of them pinned to the wall, and there was a rune there. And for some reason, the name of Shardalon rings a bell when you conjure that image back into your mind.
Ezric grabs Loose Hat by his gruff, like where his collar would be, but I imagine he doesn't have a collared shirt, so by his skin, and holds up his dagger to the goblin's throat and says, "Tell me, where can I find a Shardalon?"
No, Dark One say the name. Dark One say name.
And he just kind of keeps frantically pointing towards the east.
Ezric turns to Ro and says, "Well, there you have it," and then cuts the goblin's throat.
No shit. Very ace-like of you.
If you wanted to, Ro, you could make a dexterity saving throw to try to stop him. You can tell you can read the muscles tensing in his body as he's clutching the goblin. Oh.
Ro fires straight into the goblin's head. Remember, Ezric, I am your friend. And he swipes his cape aside, and he starts to walk out of the room.
Okay.
Ezric follows behind and regroups.
As you leave the room, you see, I imagine, Oscar Erky has finished gathering up the last of the supplies at this point. And I will, I'll just drop it on your sheet here.
Is that piss in a pot? What are you doing?
It's going to be a healer's kit.
Oh my god, gross.
Yeah, it's gonna save your life.
Oh my god.
You just wait. At least you don't have to taste it.
What are you doing with that plum?
Yeah, sorry, I dragged him
It's a
up
suppository.
Oh god. What is happening?
We are looking through a door. That is what is happening right now.
Nalian and Don, as you hear the distant voices of your friends catching up to you, you peer into a large open earthy chamber. If it wasn't so rank and fungal dominated, you'd feel like this could be like a nice, like almost hanging gardens type atmosphere. There's nodules of luminescent fungus that's almost pretty in its own right, hanging from the ceiling and walls just in clumps, in spots, kind of growing out of the flagstone floor as well. It illuminates portions of a grand bas-relief carving on the stone wall. You can see wings in places, but a lot of it's overgrown and covered by this fungus, so it's hard to depict exactly what's showing on. You're kind of seeing this on like the wall here, right across from the door.
Okay.
And then there's just a general smell of like a garden, like soil and compost is almost just piled and clumped up on the floor in a more orderly way than you would expect. And you can kind of hear a distant humming, almost elegant in its own right, far to the south, just echoing like hum.
How's it go?
Just humming along.
Like, I mean, is there any way to tell, like, the timbre of the voice? Like, is it deep?
It's quite deep. It's quite deep, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So.
At this point, I imagine most of your colleagues are filing in, or at least near you. You've sensed their presence.
I'm gonna try and catch up. Yep.
Okay. All right.
I also relay the message about the Dark One. I want them to know a Chardalon. The Dark One the goblins are all working for.
Okay. Cool.
We've seen his name previously. It was scribed on the wall up above.
And what is this Chardalon?
We don't know, but we know that he controls all of the beings down here.
Ezra gets excited and he says, he's the one that can end this curse.
I look at them and I say, I'm the one with the beans down here. And I open this door.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I'm with Nalion on this.
He's got beans?
Oh my god, beans!
I'm stealthing the shit out of this right now, Fiddy.
Okay.
I am
Yeah.
kinda, yeah, me too. But only because of the coolness stealths me, not because like I'm trying to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I don't
There's
know
a
how to-
cool factor here for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. You see very clearly a figure working in the south, basically with the lighting from the fungus in here. You can kind of see enough to get a sense of this very grand, large chamber. You see a bench, some gardening tools, a wagon, and a very large, tall figure bent over, like kind of hoeing the earth.
When you say large figure,
Yeah.
And hoeing.
what do you mean?
By those things that you said.
You'd clock about something 6 to 8 feet tall.
Okay. General shape and or body mass. Is it a recognizable creature that we
Very
I
large
would've seen
humanoid.
Does it
from
move
this
feral or
dis-
oh, sorry.
From this distance, it's pretty hard to tell. It's very dim lighting in here. But.
One thing I learned from a book called Richard Williams' Survival Kit of Animation Survival Kit,
Yeah.
is that at a distance,
It's true.
just based off of the small motions that every character or person does,
Yeah.
you get a little sense of them. Can I tell if this is a feral creature or domesticated, or more intelligent?
It seems pretty intelligent. Like it's clearly like working the grounds here.
Okay.
But it is like a lumberous creature and slow moving.
Yeah. Okay.
We're not in initiative, so you all are free to move at your own pace.
boy.
But
What?
feel free to use the watch order or whatever.
That's a big boy.
Yeah, very big boy.
Ezric,
Oh,
again,
where's
I-
Careful when you step in the room. I see this,
Time.
and it sounds like I whisper it around the doorway, but I make it sound like grasp in the tall grass in the wind to Ro. Careful when you walk into the room.
Yes, that's the sound of tall grass. It whispers to me, "Don't be careful when you step in the room."
The sound of the tall grass triggers a flashback to Ezric for just a brief moment of a nice, grassy, well-lit, sunny day field of grass.
Oh, he probably doesn't know what that feels like in a long time.
Can I tell where the dragon has gone? Where it's been dragged?
It's
Has it
drag
been
on.
dragged south, or has it been dragged somewhere else?
It's been drag on.
It looks like it went that way to the northern door.
To the northern door?
Oh, great to be a sandwich between two beasts.
My friends, we must go east.
How do you know we
Listen.
should go east?
You have not been wrong before, but I am skeptical of your magic.
I shoot Nalian a look like he hasn't been wrong before, and like look down at the giant scar on my fucking arm from the rat. Yeah, okay.
Just because you've had a fallout with the Rat Clan doesn't mean that you have to be sour with me, my friend.
Oh, I didn't say anything. I just shot a look at Nalian.
Oh, you heard it. You heard it.
Yeah, I'm like sensing your thoughts.
You can hear it.
Yeah,
You can
roll
hear
my
it in his
insight.
pose.
Dark,
My
wispy, like
thoughts.
whispers.
Let us clear the rooms to get east. We surely don't want to be trampled from the behind.
Fiddy, what does this door look like to the north?
It's a like iron wrapped wooden door.
Like
It's closed.
more fortified than what we've seen up to this point? Less fortified? Does it look the same
About
kind
the
of
same.
general
Yeah, it's
material?
about the same.
Okay. Are there any sounds coming out of the door at all?
No, just the occasional like clinking sound of gardening tools hitting stone and dragging from the south.
I want to quietly and stealthily open this door and just very quickly peer in.
All the pots and pans fall down in the room.
You see basically a companion room to the one you're in now. Again, you kind of take in the same height, about 30 feet tall, and it kind of looks like it goes north towards a door and a passageway to the northeast. Same smells, same sights, but you don't hear anyone. It's quite quiet in here.
Okay, I just kind of like look over at the group, and I don't know if they're paying attention, but I just kind of walk in quietly off to the side.
Okay.
Son, put in there.
We should follow the rat's bait.
There's a guy in our big room right now. You said.
Yeah. You see a large humanoid figure down
like 8
in
feet
the
tall.
southeast corner. I mean, it's hard to tell. Hunched over here, like working with some tools. There's big
I wanna
piles of fungal and soil.
I want to use my half-elf eyes to take a closer look at him, to see if I
Okay.
can discern what race he is.
Yeah, make a perception check as you study the figure.
I won't use such.
Oh yeah. It's very similar to the cook you met earlier and his rats. You think it's probably a bugbear. Hard to tell because it actually has clothing on. Some sort of like overalls and a hat. But it's like gardening or something.
Can I tell what his tools are or what he's doing?
Yeah, it's like a big hoe or rake. I don't know what the fuck it's called. Hoe's like when you're like using it to kind of turn the soil around, right?
Yeah.
A little bit. Hoe the earth out the wall. Yeah.
There's
it's like that.
A worker bugbear down below. We should be careful. He is quite large.
Nobody said it was a he.
Yeah.
Sorry to assume gender. It is quite large.
That's also offensive.
Sensitive dwarf.
was him? I don't know. I'm not very good with words.
Are you just keeping watch row while everyone follows Zan?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it while they slide through the door. I'm gonna keep a good watch, and then once they're all through, I'll follow them.
All right, Erky kind of moves close with Oscar.
Yeah, come this way.
Alien, are you moving ahead with Zan as well?
I am.
Okay, if the bugbear guy hasn't, then I'm gonna slide through the door as well.
Okay. Yeah, no.
Silently behind me.
Okay.
Can I tell which direction the dragon was dragged?
Yeah.
On?
1 second.
He was dragged on.
Why don't
lock the door behind us?
Who's taking point? You were an alien, because one of you can aid, one of you can take point on the roll.
I don't mind aiding.
Okay.
I also don't mind leading. So alien, whatever you want to do.
I let him take point.
I take point.
But I feel like I'm on point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like by doing that, I feel like I'm using. I feel like I'm using you as like cover as I look around you in a way. You know what I mean? It's beneficial. Let's put it that way.
Okay, I'm gonna roll a survival check or whatever.
Yeah.
You can roll one too, but
No, I'm supporting that.
All right. Well then, Alien, you roll first. You set the beat at 10.
Alien or Zan? Okay.
Alien is not very helpful. He's very cocksure, and his tone isn't really very polite in the way that he's sort of pointing things out to you. Zan, why don't you go ahead and make a survival check? You didn't need his help anyway. You could see the tracks. You didn't really appreciate his tone, but it's clear that they went north. You can see some disturbed patches and occasional scale here and there.
So before I move north, does it look like has anybody traveled into this area recently, and or like the area to the east here, has that been like, is there obviously there's a well-worn path, but is there dust? Is there like
there is a clear path through here, kind of like what you see in the coloration on the map, how there's like mounds, but then there's like a very clear pathway through. In each doorway, including to the north and the east, where again there are more like benches and gardening tools stacked up over there, there is clear activity in and out of each entry point. Is the idea.
Okay. I've got to at least listen at the door because I'm curious.
Because I want to know.
Because I trust nothing in this realm of shadows.
Okay.
But you know, whoever wants to do other things, you can do it.
Yeah. Make a stealth check for me. Zan.
Heyo.
A nice average, maybe not super quiet, but you know, okay.
Quiet enough? Question mark?
You start to partially open the door, and like a sense of unease washes over you.
I wasn't opening the door. I was just listening.
Oh, you were just listening. Okay.
I was just listening at the door. I didn't want to open it.
Okay. Sorry. That's my bad. Why don't you make a perception check?
Okay.
Oh, percept.
Oh
no!
You
better.
hear.
Now I open the door.
You hear sounds of activity in the room. You're not sure what exactly is going on there. What's everyone else doing?
I want to talk to Ezric and Oscar.
Opinions?
Just push Erky out of the way. Huh?
Ezric wants to inspect the door and see if he can lock it closed.
Wait, Ezric.
Requested.
There's no lock on the door. Yes,
You spoke of a dark one. You spoke of Ashardalon and how he could cure you of your curse. Is he the one who gave you the curse?
I don't know, but he's the closest I have to a lead, so
I too have a cursed one in my backstory, in my life. I need to find this person. Oscar, have you ever heard of Ashardalon before?
Wait, I've heard that name.
What does it mean to you, old
The
one?
Black.
The Order of the Black.
The secret Order of the Black.
Doesn't sound like a secret to me.
Well, now you know of the secret.
What is the secret Order of the Black?
I don't know. I have it written down here in my notes.
Oh, okay.
It's very secret.
Do you know what he's looking for? Ezric, perhaps there's some cursed item or something that has cursed you. Why does he have all these goblins under his control? What are they looking for?
Perhaps they're trying to find a way to curse the land and its people even more cursed.
I audibly sigh.
If he is the Dark One, then he sounds pretty evil to me, and trust me, I know evil.
Well, you don't know me. I walk away.
Okay, you start walking away. Nalian, you saw Zahn listening up to the door. You heard like the gaggle of conversation to the south. What are you doing during all this? Just chilling? Oh, you're muted, man.
Muted again. Say, hurry, let's back him up. And then I kind of rush over to the door to help in sensing what's on the other side or talk with Zahn to see what we should do about opening this door.
Okay. Let me make a perception check of your own there.
I can hear noises, but I can't tell anything specific.
Percept it. Percept.
Oh, we said perception or survival? I didn't hear you.
Perception, please. Yeah.
Okay. Getting it. Gonna get my perception. Gonna percept soon. Just gotta wait for my surface. Gonna hit the button really soon. Bet you're waited, because I know. Holy shit.
11.
Yeah, you can hear activity, like a faint like clinking sound every now and then, like a scraping, like just metal dragging on stone, and it's fairly repetitive. That's it.
Something's in there. Something's in there big. Can we pit these creatures against one another? And I signal to the south.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe? I don't know that we need to. We should just probably follow the dragon, but I was just curious.
Okay.
Or, I mean, I don't know. I don't know where the dragon is going. Perhaps it's a terrible idea to follow the dragon. Right? Like...
Hey guys, how's it going?
Who would feed on a dragon?
Hey, there's something big in here.
Yeah, there's something big. We could open it and find out, or...
Like bugbear big or dragon big?
At least listen at the door. I don't know. I can't tell. It's like a...
Ro puts his hand on the door.
I pulled the scales out of my pocket, right? The ones I've been picking up. Mm-hmm. So I know that this is a dragon's been this way, correct?
No. This is Zahn's intuition.
Okay, that's right.
While letting Zahn kind of like track around.
Take the point. Right.
Yeah, you kind of fumbled your way behind him.
Yeah, the dragon is to the north, but I wanted to at least explore this door because I don't even know if following the dragons.
Is there a keyhole in the door?
No. No lock.
No keyhole.
You listen up near the door. Ro, go ahead and make a perception check.
I will do that.
Yeah,
Oh, it almost hit.
Same
Do this. 9, 11, 12. We're so you guys.
Yeah,
good.
I mean, at this point, no one can really make heads or tails what's behind this door other than clearly something alive and active.
So we either go in this door or we go follow the dragon. Is there any reason? I mean, honestly, I don't know, to follow the dragon, but it's led us here. Perhaps,
we should check north to see if it's perhaps unguarded.
We must go east to Ashardalon.
Yeah, okay, I go north.
The danger of this room is if he comes behind us. Well, whatever. We're going north now. I say, come on, fellas.
Sorry, San's a man of action.
No, it's good,
Ezra,
it's
you said go east. Why go east?
The goblin said that a Shadowrun was east.
Yeah, we went east. Now we're going north.
I put my hands up like a conch shell to my mouth and I whistle out. It sounds like the ocean hitting the sands. And then I realized Nalian's right next to me. Hey, we should go.
What?
We should go east.
Here?
That Ezra said that the goblin said that we should go east, and clearly they're going the wrong way. We should go east, even though there's a monster in here. East is the way out. East is the best.
I do my best to... Okay, I step a couple feet away from this door. We're not in initiative, right?
No, yeah.
I take a couple steps away, this door, and around. Just for the sake of, I'm not gonna go around, but imagine I walk around Ezra to the south side, and I whistle best I can. Like, come back. I don't know if they can hear it. I don't know if they turn around.
Who are you doing that
to north.
Okay.
You guys.
to? Does my passive perception allow me to pick up on people whistling at me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oops,
I stop at the door. I mean, I'm not going to keep moving.
A new piece of information.
Definitely didn't grab nature.
Okay. Then
Don't
I duck
nail
over
it.
here.
What's the new information?
And I tell. Well, I don't even tell you. I just walk back over.
Okay, I just stand at the door because no one said anything to me.
What? No, come here. Come. I motion over to him. Come on. Come here. We're having a group huddle.
Casey's still whistling.
The reason why I'm trying to get my whistles quieter as I get closer to the door, knowing that there's something on the other side of this door, and if my whistles have to be that loud, I gotta be careful about.
So Eseric, let me just ask you a question. What is your goal?
What is it?
Is your goal to become uncursed?
Yes, my goal is
So-
to be uncursed.
Okay, my goal is to escape. I do not give a fuck that you are cursed. I care about escaping. So while you say to go east, it's hard for me to
He said
agree
it
with
was
you.
the goblin
If you were
told
trying
him.
to escape, then why did we
No.
go deeper?
What did the goblin say exactly to you?
Shadowrun is east.
Okay, a Shadowrun is east. He is the one that, what he or it or she or whatever,
Yeah, don't assume.
rules this entire area with darkness.
We must
Is
kill
that the
him.
way to escape, or is that the way to get you uncursed? Because to me, I just want to get out of here.
What if they are one and the same?
Perhaps you are right. I do not
stole
know
the
if
breath out
following.
of my lungs, brother.
I don't know
Well,
if
don't
following
call
the
me brother.
dragon.
But I got you on this one.
I don't know if following the dragon is the right way, but I also don't know if confronting if this is a very powerful entity of the Underdark area that we are in, if that is wise. I don't know.
But is a dragon not a powerful entity?
The dragon is dead.
Oh, but
Wait,
what
that's-
killed a dragon?
Well, that is what I'm saying. What would feed on a dragon? Or
That's a
I assume they would feed on it, or it's a sacrifice or something. I don't know. But is it so far following the dragon has led us here? Perhaps it is worth following it further.
You're following a corpse, friend. Why would you follow a corpse?
To a corpse closet?
The old corpse closet. Have you not heard of it?
What if
Oh,
they took
Old
the
man.
body and they dumped him outside? And that's
Yeah.
where the exit is.
Yeah, perhaps they are dumping the dragon to the outside world. Yes, that's a great point, even though we are miles below the surface. I agree with the dwarf. He makes a great point.
Ezra, what if we could check the north, then go east? If east is what you desire, maybe it is not this turn, but the next.
alright. I agree with you. Let's check the north and then come back to the east, to the North Vale.
Okay, then all of you check the north, and I will stay back and I will trust your judgment.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Don't worry, I've got this. And I wink at Ezric. We've got
I just
this.
look at Nalian with a look of like, please be the one to check the north.
I will go with you, Ro.
I
And I sat alongside him.
And then I say, I trust you, my brother.
The door to the north, like most doors you've encountered in here, is unlocked. There is no lock. It opens into a huge fungal garden, and to the east and the west are stairs that lead upwards.
Oh.
Careful of the fungus.
You see
Guys.
a door also immediately to the west.
Guys, there's stairs that lead north, but as the old saying goes, never get fooled by a fungal forest. Like
Listen.
Ace did back in the second episode of the first time he ever played D&D.
I
Yeah.
don't know who Ace is, but I know that upward is a way out of this place, yes?
I would agree with you.
There's a very clear
If only we had-
path to the north and east.
If
There's
only we
one to
could
the
ignite
east.
these spores,
Hmm.
clear them out somehow. If only someone had a vial of igniting potion of some sort.
Oh, but do you think? I mean, I'm all for the idea of the scorched earth policy here, but do you think that would maybe release the toxins, if there are any, inside of this, and pollute the whole room?
It
I don't
definitely
know. I mean, perhaps you are right. Burning it could very well kill it, but we could also be quiet and move quickly.
We could contract Tom
Um,
Haverford disease.
With the doors open, right?
Yeah.
So we're peeking through this. Can I tell from my range ring abilities, especially stuff that grows outside in the Underdark, what kind of what kind of toxins or whatnot this could contain?
Yeah, you can make a survival check.
Hey, I would love to help you with this. I've seen some of these plants
Oh
before,
no!
and perhaps I can help you with this thing that
Can you
you're
help on a
trying
nat
to
one?
do.
Yeah.
He helped me. Perhaps there was a chance.
Nalian,
A very small chance.
you've been like phoning in like ranger class like all throughout here, and this is like no exception. It's kind of like, I don't know how you handle it, but you fumble like on the pronunciation of something in there, and both
Have a furred.
both Zahn, Oscar, and Ro are like, that's not a thing.
Yeah, what do you say? I'm curious.
Yeah.
Well, you see, the tip of the mushroom is oftentimes the most succulent. However, it is down here towards the shaft that we'd find most the danger.
Everyone knows that the tip is where the danger sprouts from.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
Ro, seeing as you were up front there as well, why don't you make a survival check?
Oh god.
Not one.
Not ideal. Not ideal.
You know,
We're
you
going
know
in,
enough
boys.
that nothing in here is ultra toxic. Maybe like if it was burned or consumed in large quantities, it could become toxic. But everything in here seems pretty
Good that we
malign.
did that.
Guys, look, just hold your breath. Don't touch anything, and for God's
Pungent,
sakes, don't
but yeah.
eat anything.
Hey, Ezeric, look. The path to the north also leads to the east, so perhaps we can come to an agreement.
Oh.
It seems that this solves both of our problems.
It does seem that way. There are also...
Let us
did-
continue.
Did you, Nalian and Ro, did you say there were doors elsewhere inside here?
No, just to the east and just to the west. Hold your breath.
There's a pathway
Doors.
east and west and a door to the southwest.
Nalian, do you think that there could be something interesting in either of these doors? Here or here?
High risk, high reward. We don't even know what's in any of these doors.
Well, I say escape is our greatest reward, but I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, we're also going east.
We should go east.
Okay, we can go east.
But who knows what's that way? And I hold my breath and I follow.
Yeah, I hold my breath and I follow as well.
Okay.
As best I can.
I know
You
exactly how to deal with mushrooms.
No,
Oh,
no,
no.
what are you doing?
Dude,
Don't flick them!
You run right through them. You're like, this is great.
Tom Haverford!
You come upon damp and crumbling steps, but I mean intact enough for you to ascend the 15 feet upwards that you see in front of you, whereupon it comes to a landing and a corridor that winds east before turning south.
Oh no! It's going back into that room.
Hey, we have gone east. This is great, guys.
Oops.
Are we up a
Good job,
level
person.
though? We went upstairs, right?
You went up about
Yeah.
15 feet, yeah.
But we descended a shitload down that well, right?
You did. You sure did. About 80 feet or something.
Oh.
I know. We just keep going down.
Alright, let's
Oh my god, you're standing on top of my body. Ow.
let's Five Stooges our head around the corner, like one on top of the other.
I'm a dwarf.
Alright, you go down below.
Hey, Oscar, wait, before you go, Ro. Perhaps you could look around. Oscar, do your, with your fingers.
I take requests. I give Ro the fingers.
Oh,
Here, let me.
you're touching all the muscles in the right sequence.
Yeah.
This is great. My bones feel awesome.
Okay.
Hey, Ro, what do your elf eyes see?
Tickle
Let me
it a
just
little
stick
bit.
them around the corner here.
I can say that to you.
Alright, what do they see?
Okay. You get
What's around the
you
corner?
get a bonus d4 if you want it. You catch there's a dimly lit hallway. There's like one torch all the way down.
Dear Lord,
near
you got 25?
the
I got
south.
almost maximum.
And you see two doorways before the corridor just ends to a dead stop. Two doorways to the east.
I see very far. There's two doorways going to the east and a torch on the right, and then it ends abruptly.
With
Hey.
that 25, the clearness of the trail that you believe was like a dragged carcass just kind of stops right here before
Something got dragged on, but then ends 5 feet away from us here. I don't know where it went. It's like it vanished. Maybe a trap door. Maybe magic. Who knows? We should find out.
Wait. The carcass was dragged to a point right in front of us, and it
Yep.
just has disappeared.
It's
That's what
more
my eyes see.
it's less of a I mean to your ranger eyes here, it's just clear that the pathway is no longer clearly visible. It's just intermixed with other footprints. Maybe the blood and scales stopped falling off. You just don't know, but it was
I
clearly
lost track
heading
of it. I'm
south
sorry.
before it just tapers off.
It tapers off, guys.
Okay,
Just like your
it's okay.
But it's a long haul,
Hey,
so I'm
hey.
confident it keeps going.
Are you good at checking for traps? Nelian is pretty good, and you probably are good too. So why don't you just, make sure? If this is a well-traveled passage, we probably have nothing to worry about. But
Look, I've
Perhaps-
seen traps in my day, and trust me, there's no traps in this hall. I am moving forward confidently.
I follow behind him, less confidently, and about 10 feet behind.
and I also follow even less confidently behind Nelian, 10 feet behind.
He said there would be traps.
I am also
Million.
I'm also double checking everything he's doing and looking at for traps.
I'm triple checking everything Nelian's checking.
Just
I
step
Keep
where I
giving
step.
the shoulder rub.
you're like Yodaing on me.
Yeah. But I'm following
be a
behind,
backpack.
and I have my hands on your hips like a conga line.
Don't
I like that
massage
they-
me there.
I like that they're on the hips.
That's how I'm a dwarf.
We'll use the watch order here if you're holding to that for this. Zahn, would you be taking point on this trap checking, or is this a special incident Or someone?
No, I would let Ro go ahead of me.
Okay, Ro.
Oh,
But-
sorry, yeah.
Ro, why don't you
I
make
would
a
be-
perception check?
I'd be close behind.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I grabbed the wrong one.
I would help him with his percepting.
Don't worry, I perceive.
And then Nalian
No
or
big-
Zahn next. Who's next?
I don't care.
Just step where I step.
All right, why don't one of you make a perception check?
There we go. Perfect.
Yeah, just right here. These
Yeah.
footprints are safe.
Okay, we're just looking for 3 successes here.
That's not a success.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
It is. It is.
Is
it's
it?
a success.
But fucking barely.
You feel pretty confidently all the way up to this first door that there's nothing strange about this corridor that you should be worried about. And again, you just see the 2 doors, long hallway, one door east, one door further south, and then east.
I continue to hop.
I don't follow him like that. I just walk like off to one side and down.
I'm hopping.
I do not hop.
I do not.
I'm right behind you.
Oh hey, you got here at the same time as me.
As it turns out, you can just walk straight. It's amazing. Okay. Wouldn't there be a door
Yeah, there's a
somewhere to the east of us?
There's a door
I mean,
right
sorry,
there.
to the west of us? To the west of us, where...
No
We're
door
up
that you
above.
see.
Oh, we're up above. Good, interesting point. Good point.
15 feet up.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Alright, Ro's gonna put his hand up against the door for vibrations. If there's a keyhole, he little L5.
I go to the other side of the door and I try to look underneath it to see if I can see or hear anything.
I give you the old sports pat.
Oh! The pat!
It's
Mm,
like a slow rub pat.
Why are your hands slipping south?
You sense
I'm
no
a dwarf.
signs of life or activity behind this door.
There's nothing back here, friends. Nothing alive.
You don't see or hear anything? Sorry, what did you say, Fetty?
Yeah, you don't get the sense that there's anything making noise
Wow.
or active behind this door.
Open the door. Let's at least see what it is then.
Alright, I slowly push it open into the room, if it opens.
And just peer in.
Yep.
You see what appears to be a library / study. There's even in here a layer of loose soil about the floor, but rough wooden shelves are filled with a scattering of tomes and scrolls on the northern and eastern walls. And in the center of the room, you clock a rough-hewn desk with a single chair facing towards the bookshelves. There in here, even no torchlight, but fungus on the ceiling is kind of providing like a light bluish hue of just ambient lighting. The corner of the desk has some small bushes in pots, basically. They're kind of like pale saplings that are growing in potted soil on the desk.
Oh, supplies.
Oscar, you're not gonna believe this.
I believe it.
There's a whole shitload of books and herbs in there. It's like your wet dream.
Are there... Go ahead.
I just want to gather all the supplies I can for making like healing potions and stuff.
Okay. There's nothing. There's nothing like loose in here. It's more like this plant's like a specimen, and some of the documents, the loose documents on the table near it, appear to be like seasonal records, like notes on growth, precipitation, certain harvests and yields, and it kind of looks like survey records for areas, surface areas that would potentially be around here or of interest to whoever desk this is.
Just from the outside of the room looking in, Fiddy, does it look like it's neatly kept? And organized? Does it look like totally in disarray? I don't go in there, but I'm peeking in.
Yeah, and I'm to follow up with that. I'm like looking at the books to see like has fungus and shit overgrown the books, or are the books well kept? Like, what do the shelves look like? Are they
Moss grown?
Well,
Yeah.
so in terms of Nalian's question, the room itself is a bit of a contradiction because at a glance, the loose soil around the floor, the bioluminescent fungal lighting, has a bit of a dirty feeling to it. But the desk itself and the bookshelves appear very well organized by color even. And the shelves to the northern wall are in fact a bit more overgrown with fungus and plant-like matter and a bit dustier in general. And the shelves to the east appear to be quite clean.
I come over and I pick a book at random from the top shelf on the right side.
Roll a roll a percentage die.
Yeah. Do you pick the right one? Number 48. He picks number 48.
Pick volume 48.
You pick up a random book, and it appears to be in Draconic. It's like a dark navy, heavy bound cover. Do you speak Draconic?
No, I don't speak Draconic. I don't think.
Okay, you're not
Somebody
sure
here does.
what it
Urky
says.
does.
But you take note of a very particular black bound book with like golden patterning on the cover. It appears to be almost spaced out slightly from the others, as if it's taken and removed from this shelf quite frequently.
I just set the book. I just put the book like. I don't even try to put it back in the right place. I just put it on top of the other books and then I grab that one.
Okay. I need you and
To make a dexterity saving throw.
to make a dexterity saving throw.
Cool.
Oh, okay.
Wait, why do I have advantage?
I don't know.
Don't question it. You dropped a 7.
I didn't.
Hold on.
Does he have things against that kind of
Advantage save poison. I wonder if that's not working right.
dwarven?
Yeah, I'm dwarf, so I definitely have.
I'm a
Yeah,
dwarf.
but it's not a poison check though. I'm just wondering if your current buff is for some reason automatically triggering. Let me just try something again. It's doing it every time.
I have advantage on saving throws against poison.
Yeah, I think your buff is messed up. I will have to play with that.
You're not poisoned.
Because it's acid.
Okay, well you why don't you roll again just to do a fresh roll?
Okay.
You just did, didn't you?
No, it kept still had advantage
14?
on. That was my roll.
Okay.
11, 12.
Ha!
Okay.
Frail old man. Twirling
12?
to the side.
And Zahn, you got a 22. Okay. There is an immediate zap of just pulsating magical energy, and a frigid, frozen feeling just washes over both of you. You both manage to duck for cover. Unfortunately, that reduces the damage you take by half.
Holy shit, are you guys dead?
13 damage.
Oh my god.
You touched the wrong book. What did you touch?
You stand
almost
there
dead.
frozen in your hand. You can read. Let me see what language you speak.
A healing potion.
Oh shit!
Lucky you. You didn't get any.
Inscribed in Infernal on the cover in
Oh,
black
good.
Oh no.
reads Ashardalon, the harbinger of the demon prince.
Oh.
And you
I
just
take
stand
it.
like you're literally quite frozen for a beat, in place from this damage, like frostbite, and you all outside are covered enough, but you feel just this wave of strange, frozen, magical energy surge out of the room.
Ezric's eyes light up, and as he feels the cold.
Wait. Fitty,
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. Things are being said that I should be able to do stuff about.
Okay.
Descend, my brothers.
Let's see. This is...
You're immune to cold, and your party takes half cold damage.
Can you read it? It's translated above the bubble in normal chat.
Oh shit!
I'm
I
just
don't
dumb.
understand. I don't recognize.
Can I read through the book? Can I start reading through it after I unfreeze?
Did Don yell that or say that?
Yeah.
I just did.
Okay.
Oh, you guys know a secret language.
And I heard it, right?
Yep.
I rushed to the door.
And Zon's like, and just kind of like falls down, but he's kind of like also propping up the book as he sits down.
Okay. All right. Yeah. You sit down. There's a lot more in this room. I mean, if you took time to go through it, you could see if there's anything else. But you are poring over this book in particular at the moment, Zon.
Yes, I am. But yeah, I mean,
Fine, son.
I'm skimming through it.
Okay.
Like, and I would even look up and tell Nalian, I found a book and I picked it up and I believe it hurt both of us pretty badly. It could have been much worse.
I say to him,
I don't feel great.
Ro grabbed Erky and pulled him into the room.
I heal myself.
Whoa!
8 hit points.
I pull Erky over to Zon. Erky, you have the gift of magic touch. Please help our friend. O caged one.
Yes, I will help him. Please, it's the least I can do for helping me make my way through here.
And he kind of reaches out to touch Zon.
well, I just want to go over a little bit to the bookshelf and seeing that there was something magical about one of those books.
Okay.
I also want to see if any of these books, and also noticing how barren this bookshelf is compared to the other one, of like Overgrowth. I want
Killed
to.
twice, fuck.
I want to see if I can't find a book on here that looks like it's worn, as if it's not even a book, like if it's a handle to open a secret door or something.
You find, after looking for a moment, a couple interesting scrolls. But at last, when you look for a book, you come across a tome that's bound with dragon scales. And also appears to be written in a not so nice language that you understand. On the cover, the scales are kind of left out, and in the negative space is a big spiral that almost takes up like the entire width of the cover as you get to the center of it. And in the center of that spiral, almost laid on top with scales, is this Y-like symbol. And there's a bit of a twang. There's a bit of a twang in your mind that like almost flashes an image from your nightmare the other night, where you clearly seen this symbol before.
I take a piece of cloth out of my my sack, my knapsack, and I don't want to touch it with my skin. And I put my hand on the book and I wrap it in this cloth, and then I put it into like my knapsack.
Okay.
Oh.
I'll add something for you.
I'm very interested in this, but now's not the time to read it if I don't have to.
Yeah, I would say the exact same thing about Zon. Zon would probably pocket the book and just say, the next time we take a long rest, he'll read through some of it.
Okay. What's everyone else doing?
Ezeric, clearly you have something. Like, you keep telling us to go east and you're cursed, and the person who cursed you is here. Our companions were just frozen by cold magic, something I've seen you do before to a door, to explode it. What's going on here? Why are they frozen? Where are we going?
This seems to me like the doings of a very dark lord, the Shadowrun. This has to be magic used by him.
Dedoy.
Yeah.
How
I
are you able to tell if we're going to be hit by this frozen spell again? Perhaps before they touch books foolishly.
maybe if I make an Arcana check, if that's how that works.
Yeah. You can kind of inspect where the trap went off.
Yeah, I want to see if there's any other sort of magic.
You can tell that there is almost like a blast radius of residue, but it has like a sense of magical energy where you might smell like the burning and smoke of a normal combustion explosion. And you get a sense of that. You don't really, you don't think this thing's could possibly trigger again. You do sort of ascertain that it was magical in nature. That's about it. Clearly someone planted it there on that book.
Friends, are you okay? What was that book you touched? How I see you've wrapped it up and slipped it away into your pants, it looks like.
No, that is not my pants. That is a satchel. But yes, there's no point in trying to read it now. I mean,
So research for later.
It would take hours. We should get out of here. That's the goal.
Yes, just be careful with what you have. That almost killed you, and now
It's
you're just
not-
sliding it into a sack over by your dick.
It will not freeze
Careful.
my dingus. You have nothing to worry about.
I'm just
My,
looking out
my
for you.
dingus
friend.
is fine.
Okay. Be careful. Shall we to the south?
Yes, go.
Let's
Alright.
go.
I examine the door to
Before I
the
get
south.
blown up again.
Cool it down.
I sure hope we find a Shadowrun.
You real quick, Nalian. The two other scrolls you found. I'm just gonna put them in your inventory.
Scroll of freezing dick.
Present them.
They are in your inventory.
Thank you.
Read them at your will. Door to the south. Let's see.
Same as the others, no keyhole.
There is a keyhole.
I poke my little elf eye through and I percept. Percept hard. Oh, it's a tiny keyhole.
You stare long enough to see. Sorry, I assumed you were opening when you told me earlier.
Sure,
Either, either way, it's quiet enough that you kind of peer through the slightly cracked door, and you basically see nature almost taking over, where like remains and rubble are to the south.
Nature.
Basically, a semi-collapsed southern wall crumbles into dirt and soil, and you can even see some shrubs and small trees growing, which feels a bit strange amidst the luminescent fungus on the rough walls and on the high roof overhead.
Does it feel like we're getting closer to the surface? Like this is kind of like foliage from the top growing down in?
No, I mean, it very much feels like a cavernous place with how damp it is and how, like the fungus is very dominant here. So it's a bit strange to see small trees being grown. It feels
Guys,
out of place.
Something's out of place up ahead. It feels like trees and shrubs from the surface, but growing down below. Be careful. Be on your guard. Quietly this way.
Okay, I'm right behind you.
Okay, sports pad.
I'm coming to.
I'm gonna follow the wall in and percept. You said there's fungus in here too?
Yeah.
Can I I'm gonna pick up some of the fungus, examine it. What color is it? What does it look like?
It varies in color. I mean, most of it is very pale and off-white, and then the caps themselves are sometimes multicolored with bluish purple hues here and there. As you start to step in, and all of you kind of start to move in near Ro, Ro, make one last perception check for me, please.
God. Trip over the fungus. And,
you kind of make your way towards this wall and are starting to move ahead when you clock a goblin working on the tree, and he's kind of like almost like shouting at it and like holding up some shear clipper like devices, and he's almost like talking to the tree while sort of circling around it every now and then. You kind of like lose sight of him a little.
Can I do my Nalian whisper? Is that a thing anymore? Did we ban it?
If you're like in close distance,
within reason.
Yeah.
Are you in the room with me?
You don't have line of sight of him. You can assume once he sort of peers through, you can kind of come.
All right. It sounds almost like the wind, kind of picking up a little bit unnaturally. So it says like, yeah, armed goblin. Armed goblin south tree. That's it. That's it. That's all he whispered.
I nod once we make contact.
Okay.
Erky, get in here.
Erky, you bitch. All right, I'm gonna keep moving south then. If these are all.
Yeah, I'm going to also move south, but I'm going to check along this wall and make sure that things are okay.
Okay. You make a stealth check, Zahn.
Oh, I will try to stealth as quietly as a...
Move past
the pots and pans
it's
fall
not
over.
very quiet because I'm still trying to deal with my limbs being frozen.
Yeah.
You know, the blast of cold.
You kick a pile of stone rubble like over here, and you can.
I
hear...
even recognize it. Yeah, I'm like, ah, shit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to roll stealth as well.
The sounds of like the goblin chattering to the tree have stopped. Ro, why don't you make a stealth check? And Nalian as well, since I assume you guys are still taking point.
Oh baby!
Oh boy.
Wow. You have cancelled out maybe perhaps one of our shitty rolls.
As Nalian moves in near you, him and Zahn are both like making a bunch of noise. You almost feel close to back in your favorable element here amidst here, other than it being a little bit off. And it's enough for in this moment for you to basically pick up a bit of stone. Right as like you see this like goblin starting to walk around and peer past you, you just pick up a stone and just hurl it at him right as he's about to speak, and just clock him right in the face, and he just falls over.
Guys, I got him.
Dropping a pair of like garden shears next to him.
Also, I've got some bad news for you all. We're in the Underdark.
Why is that bad news?
I can feel it. It's an alternate plane of pure torture with dark elves. You're not gonna like it.
Well, perhaps some of us were sent here.
Oh no! Here comes another one, quick! Oh shit.
They're clearly just working on these trees at the moment.
God damn it. Alright,
what are you doing?
I whisper back to Oscar and Ezra. Psst, psst, come here, come on.
Ezra comes up to Ro. Yes, what is it? He says audibly.
Shh, goblins up ahead. We're in trouble. The old man can't hear us. We need somebody to get him.
Yes. What's another 5 goblins? We've killed 40.
True. Okay.
This is a good point.
Guys, we gotta. Are we gonna take them out, or are we just gonna go the other? Can't just go the other way.
No, we're gonna kill them. Every last one of them. Bro, look at me. We are going to murder every one of them if they oppose us.
I whistle back to him in like just really quiet whistle because I know he can hear it. Oh no!
Is it Ezric cocks his crossbow at
Which one?
Beard.
I guess we're doing.
Which is what's funny, by the way. He's dead. So you just shot an arrow.
Actually, you have disadvantage because he's prone and unconscious.
Oh my god.
Why would he be firing?
Wait, Oscar, who's Oscar firing at?
What the fuck is happening? Maybe
They're just
pay attention
firing.
before you fire your weapons.
He's like, whoa! The recoil hits you.
I push Ezric's crossbow down. What are you doing, you fool of a dog?
Oscar, which one were you pointing at?
Minimalist corset.
Oh, he's a hooker goblin.
Actually miss.
No, all right.
Minimalist my ass.
It goes flying past both. A crossbow bolt goes sailing over the down body of the unconscious goblin that got hit with a rock. Another
I ask
one
a
goes
question?
flying past the minimalist corset goblin who's working.
If
Yes.
it's a surprise round, does he get any kind of advantage on that?
Actually, yes. It would cancel out on the down goblin. So we're still good there on that miss. Oscar, on the other hand,
Definitely.
also definitely
Yeah,
still
oh my
missed.
Stop
Definitely.
firing!
Roll initiative. Surprise just came and went.
What are you doing?
Okay, perfect. I've rolled really low. It's great.
Do great.
Okay.
Ro, you kind of hear goblins.
What? Wake up, demon trees!
Demon trees! And I understand him. I can hear him like in common.
Yeah.
Demon trees. All right. I kind of like whisper back to Oscar. Oscar, they have demon trees. Do you not know how to light fires?
What?
Fire! Fire! And the
Okay.
demon trees!
Yeah, I'll do that.
Do it!
Yeah,
And I hold.
I'll do that.
I just hold.
Slow motion.
Yeah.
Reaching in to grab the fire flask,
I hold where I am.
and then it's gonna go, but on my turn. So.
Yeah.
All right, Ro, are you holding then?
I'm holding. Yeah. If the goblins get any closer than minimal corset, then I'll attack them.
The goblin is like pulling on the branches of the tree.
Oh, no.
And in doing so, something starts to uproot and crawl out of the ground, shambling forward. This guy is probably still unconscious. Let's say he's got to beat a 15. Oh shit. You kind of hear like a... He starts like rubbing the back of his head on the ground in front of the tree there, the guy who was knocked out. And this thing starts crawling out of the ground and just kind of like brings forth like these claw-like giant branched hands. And it takes a moment to actually like, you know, uproot itself from the ground, so it's just standing there for a beat. Oscar, you see the goblins in your line of sight. This guy is also kind of like tugging at the tree and frantically looking at all of you.
I pull out my fire flask and I fuck it up.
Just roll as if it was like a ranged attack, so you can add the
Oh,
ammo
no.
back in, but if you just use your crossbow light, you'd get basically the same thing,
Okay.
+3 to throw and hit this projectile grenade. Ooh, yeah. Where are you targeting? Like this guy?
Yeah, but the tree.
Okay.
Like 1 square over. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, yeah, you just fucking throw this thing almost, it's not perfect, but it kind of shatters and smashes, and like the goop is just spilling down the tree, as this thing,
there's goop?
as the tree itself is starting to move.
And it turns burst into flames?
It doesn't burst into immediate flames, no.
Oh, that's how it's supposed to work.
So you kind of imagined it was like like a combustible thing?
No, because I don't have a way of lighting it.
Yeah.
The fire flask is like the elements combine and then.
That makes sense. No, I'm happy to retcon that. I was thinking something.
Oh, okay.
Different.
It doesn't have to do that much damage. But...
Yeah. Why don't you roll 1d6?
Okay. That's fine.
I'm not familiar with this one.
There's like a quick burst of a flash, and it's not like the most catching fire. It doesn't seem to catch on this plant, but there is like a quick burning, like a flash burn that does about 3 points of damage.
Nice.
Good.
There you go.
And it is still coated in this liquid from the thing. Okay.
Is that on both the goblin and the tree?
It is on a bit of both of them, yeah.
Cool.
I get back around the corner.
Okay.
Ready my next one.
Zahn.
Zahn sticks his head out around the corner. Can he actually see the twig and the goblin-y things?
He can see this one. He can see the goblin there was like pulling on it till he got just smashed with whatever this projectile is, and you can hear the groans of the goblin right beneath you starting to wake up.
Oh, I just smacked the guy right in front of me. I just want to keep him down. Actually, let me first. Can I, if I throw a dart, can I use a bonus action to knock out the guy in front of me? Can I do that?
You would still have to hit. He's conscious and trying to take in his situation right now.
The goblin that's right in front of me is still conscious?
Yeah, he's waking up right now.
Okay, I tell you what. I'm just gonna fucking knock the guy out. Just, yeah, just give him a nice swift pop to the forehead, and if he bleeds out, I don't really care.
Right to the kisser, you know?
Yeah. And I use my staff to do it. Do I need to actually roll to hit him since he's on the ground in front of me, not moving?
You have advantage because he's prone.
Oh my
and
god.
It's a melee attack.
Don't mess up. This is your big chance.
This is like...
You miss him twice.
Snake eyes.
Alright. Cool.
Oh my god!
You surprisingly have trouble hitting him, but just managed to catch him.
That would have been ridiculous, and I would have felt really bad inside.
Yeah, he's like squirming around as he like wakes up and sees you, and then you just put him down.
Okay.
Lights out.
As a bonus action, the plant that he was tending to is rising up out of the ground.
Oh, no.
But its legs, its rooted legs, are still stuck in the soil. Similar, you could with advantage move in and make a bonus attack if you wanted to.
With advantage? Oh,
yeah,
fuck
he's
I'm
kind of
gonna
like
do that.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, not only that, Fiddy, I'm gonna do one better. I'm gonna use Flurry of Blows.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Give him a
make
blowjob.
Yeah, whatever sick puns you want to make, by all means. And I get 2 hits, and if I get 2 hits, can I take advantage on both hits?
You can actually, yeah.
Damn.
Okay. All right, fucking do it.
Hey-oh, those are big attacks.
First one hits.
That's good.
Punch that tree.
Can we work on that sound effect maybe?
I don't know. I kind of love it.
I still love it, dude.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. You punch the tree creature into splintered wood. And it just never gets its rooted legs out of the ground.
Okay, I jump back here.
Oh,
because I'm not gonna be the one to tank this shit.
Like this stuff on the goblin that splashed him. He's trying to like shake it off as the fire seems to have reignited itself a bit, and it catches on him and does an additional D4 damage. You can roll damage, Cloak.
Luke. Roll that shit. Roll that damage.
Roll that sweet damage.
Fire?
It's on fire.
I'm keeping the 1, but I asked for a D4.
Oh.
It appears, and it seems to be actually spreading on the goblin.
Thank God.
The plant creature next to him is also trying to uproot itself at the moment, and it is also reignited by the fire and takes 1 more point of damage. Okay, Nalian.
That's me.
That's you. What are you doing?
I'm going to take 1 step out here, and you've seen this happen before, once ago, but without pulling an arrow from the quiver, he pulls his fingers back and they start to light up, and he pulls almost an arrow out of thin air, like a lit arrow, and he fires it at Twig Blight as he says, "Freeze!" to the goblins. And then hit him with this many.
Whoa.
Damn! What?
What?
That's what I do.
Oh shit.
Okay.
That's like a gazillion damage.
And then I say, "Freeze, goblins, if you would like to live." See, there's something. Maybe you guys, I may have said over a dinner in our prison capture, but one thing I like to do is I really like to kill. Really like to beat everybody and leave a survivor or two. I really like that. Let's them run away scared, and it makes me feel great.
Okay.
Just letting you know.
The goblin in the tree in front of you continue to burn until they aren't moving anymore, leaving the 2 goblins around the tree that just burst into nothingness from your strange arrow. Kind of just hold their hands up, looking at each other for a moment, and looking back at the lot of you peering around from the room to the north, and they just kind of freeze.
I put my bow away calmly, and I say, "I just want information. Come now."
You've turned Irish again.
Come now. Yeah.
They very timidly walk past the burnt tree and goblin.
How the and I kind of put my hands on my knees and I bend down very gently and almost lovingly in a way, slowly, calmly, and I say, "How the fuck do I get out of here?"
And as he says that, I rest my staff on both of their shoulders, like from behind. Like all of a sudden, they feel like a weight and a presence, and it's like, oh shit, there's a guy right behind me.
That's all we want to know. And then you can be on your merry way.
Get out? Get out?
To the big blue sky, or what do I know that the Underdark world would be sky-wise?
It's a black sky with like
the beautiful
lightning bolts.
black sky with lightning crossing through the air.
He kind of like scratches his neck for a moment as he ponders. 1 second, real quick here. His goblin needs to look at something.
I've never seen outside before.
Well, would you like to?
Yeah, what's the outside? Sounds scary.
Help us get out of here. And you too can experience the outside.
It sounds painful.
Really good.
He says,
No outside. We come from the dark down below. But
What? There's more.
the dark down
I'd like
below,
to. Yes.
we no go anymore. Since
Okay.
great tree start growing. Not like these tree, but great tree. dark tree.
Yes.
They take dragon to tree. Yes. We work small tree. Yes.
What do you know about
We
a
work
Chardalon?
gardener. Oh.
The other one, who hasn't been talking, kind of exclaims and looks at you.
They bring a Chardalon now.
A Chardalon's down below with the great tree.
They bring a tree, yes.
Is a Chardalon the tree?
Tree bring.
Oh, okay.
And then I draw a diagram. I'm just shaking my head. I'm just pissed. Tree. And I point an arrow. A Chardalon?
He does
There's
this.
a Chardalon.
He kind of looks at you and says,
Tree.
Which one's talking right now?
Bring.
the one to the west, with the
Alright.
noticeable neatness about him.
Oh my
shit! Oh wait, the one
Your
not
information-
talking. You fired at the one not talking.
Yeah. Now
Okay.
tell us, Goblin. Be quick with your mouth, or that shall be your same fate.
Quick. Tree. Bring.
He's like speaking at like 5 times the speed, and you can barely comprehend
Mm.
any words, but you recognize the gestures to be one and the same.
And what bring what to the tree?
I
Tree
think
ring.
the tree is a reason to summon a Chardalon. It's a conduit.
Go! Get out of here. Go.
So
Anyway.
if we took your goblin friend and we brought it to the tree and gave it to the tree,
Mm.
what would happen? No. What do you bring to the tree?
Dark one there. Dark one. No go.
The dark one, no go to
No
the
go.
tree.
Everyone looks at Ezra.
We should follow the goblin.
That's where he looks when you tell him to start running. He kind of like wants.
Yeah, no, I did.
Okay, you let him go?
Oh no, but he got shot, didn't he?
No, the other.
No,
guy
we
got
shot the other one.
Yeah, there were 2 and we killed one of them.
Then Nalian kills the other one.
The Oh, really?
He's
No.
running.
All right, fine. I'm shooting him. God, I see Ezra's
Well, I mean,
looking.
you,
and he just.
you watch him, and
Yeah,
he's
I
not
want him to
going
go.
like he literally like runs around a piece of broken what used to be probably wall, and is just like
Yeah, I was gonna
hiding
say.
under it, like quivering in fear.
Don't move until you don't see us for many long times. Do you hear me?
Many long times.
Many long times.
Many long times.
And he's
I
just
give-
like looking past the sliver of wall.
I do I have a ration of food or if anything?
Yeah. You got enough like dried sort of rations like food when you escaped and stole a bunch of basic equipment.
I give him something very meager.
Okay.
Here,
He seems,
this will hold you over.
Yeah, like he
Stay.
seems like you just handed him like a piece of gold.
Mhm.
Aw.
And then when we leave, tell your friends. I pat him on the head.
Many long time. And he just kind
Oh, did we find out where the tree was? It was ahead.
of, you see this grove and bit of natural expanse just gets wider and bigger and keeps winding on to the southwest.
Careful, there are more trees that we can wake.
Yeah, each one of these trees summoned a tree twig monster before. We should be careful.
I'm going to be quiet as I move forward.
Me too.
Me too.
Can
Good job, old man. Your stealth is increasing.
I want to
can tell.
examine one of the trees. Like, am I familiar with the tree? What type of tree is it? Is there fruit on it?
Let's-
It's getting better.
There's no fruit on it. The tree itself, very pale, almost white-seeming bark on like the young bark. All these are very young saplings, and they.
Is the fungus growing on it?
They seem familiar to that potted plant that you encountered that sprung to life up with the hobgoblins. You are feeling a bit leery about all of these growths in the pathway in front of you, because the entire thing itself that uprooted, like, that was the tree. The whole thing's like gone now.
Hey, Fitty.
Other than the burnt body, yeah.
For all the trees that have already come up and gone down, can we have like the dead guy upside down? Like,
yeah, it's not
on him, just so we know.
Yeah, like
It's hard with the map.
I wanna walk up to this tree once and put my dagger into it, put my scimitar into it.
Hold, please.
Hold him.
Oh, there we go.
Creating avatars.
Okay.
And then I have one other question about where I'm standing here.
Yeah. Do this. Okay. Yeah, these guys.
Yeah.
Were trees and are now not trees. Just things
Where
on the
trees?
soil.
Now where I'm standing, this thing that I'm kind of trying to point to in the corner here, I'll remove this line in a second when you're ready.
Okay.
But is that a texture thing? Or is that
yeah.
something supposed to be interest? Because it's terrible looking.
It's just a texture.
It's so out of place. It looks like you were trying to hold like an Easter egg there, so I was kind of curious at what was tucked into the crevasse.
Hey. No.
I thought a shine.
You don't ever
I thought I saw a
need
shine.
to take these maps too literally, but it's okay. So yeah, I mean this grove winds on and on. How do you want to proceed?
Very quietly.
Bro looks at the tree in front of him and he tries to line up where one of the 8-foot monster's heads would be on this tree, and he takes a big ol' swing at it with the scimitar.
Okay.
Didn't they grow from the bottoms?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Swing your scimitar here, and it feels like you're just hacking away at an actual tree at the moment.
It bills your blade.
It looks like it's just a regular tree.
I ready an arrow because I saw them coming from the feet, coming out of the roots of the trees.
Yeah.
And I aim in that direction just in case. And I ready for anything that maybe reaches out or pops out to shoot at the first chance I get.
Okay.
Hey, what's in this area?
The darkness.
Oh.
More trees.
More trees.
I
wouldn't-
Path,
all the
path
way
looks
down.
like it continues on south. And there does appear to be slight openings in some bits of broken wall and natural cavern to the west.
This is a lot of fucking shrubbery.
I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
Who should I take that literally with Ro getting ahead?
I'm moving from tree to tree in the shadows.
Okay, hold on there, sport. Why don't you roll a stealth check?
I suppose
Should I
I'll do it.
roll one as well?
Yeah, you should.
I feel like I should because I'm keeping an eye on the tree he just stabbed and watching what he's doing now. And I'm very confused. Shouldn't we wait for a reaction?
There was no reaction. Nothing happened.
You don't notice any anything going on with all that. But Ro, as you make your way towards the next tree here, you and Zahn, after coming across what you believe are several normal trees, you immediately clock these two trees here between that pink circle as being a bit different in the way that they're growing and how thin and sparse they are. You think these two might actually be slumbering, growing twig creatures as well.
Okay.
Guys, over here. Over here, guys.
Can I peek around this corner, Fiddy, in this area?
Yeah, you kind of just pivot around and easily see there's just another strange nook and cranny here.
Okay, cool. Then I would probably go down here, and I'm kind of looking over my shoulder, but I also just assume the party is following.
Yeah, why don't we take stock of what everyone's doing? You clearly see Ro and Zahn posting up and creeping and coming to a bit of a pause. I don't know, making some gestures or symbols to indicate the situation at hand here.
I appear to be a tree. It sounds like a tree is talking to them. Guys, come here. There's two abnormal trees.
I am not a tree. I am a person standing against the wall very stealthily. You probably can't actually see him.
I still keep it.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I still keep an eye on every tree that Ro hit along the way.
Okay.
You know, I don't trust you yet.
Make a perception check.
Who?
Nalian in this case. From what you can tell, the species is obviously quite similar, but yeah, the ones that you passed don't really draw any likeness to the ones that were moving, other than like, the initial glance that you take at them. They seem a lot more full, and as you're kind of inspecting them, you see what everyone's staring at, and you get a bit of a tense feeling yourself as well.
Okay.
Maybe you should test this tree up ahead. Fire an arrow at it or something. Oh, brother of the wilderness.
Ezra grabs at the branch of the tree that everyone's checking out and wants to try and sense any sort of dark magic coming from it.
It's the one beyond the one that we're at.
Oh, well, he grasps that one.
But where are you going?
Now I get my bow ready and knock my arrow again, and I aim the same spot.
I'm confused. Which tree is?
I'm over. We're all positioning around. I can't do it with my computer, but
we're looking at this tree, but we're all huddled around the tree.
We're all just kind of taking positions.
Yeah, I'm grabbing at that tree.
Wait, where are you going?
Okay.
And I'm ready to fire at whatever comes out of that tree.
You go up and just grab the tree.
With the intention of trying to see if there's any sort of magically alarming thing going on here.
I mean, you grab the tree, you grab some of the branches, and you start looking through your eldritch sight, and you don't catch anything like that you've seen before that has like a magical nature about it, but the thing starts writhing in your grasp, and I need everyone to roll initiative, and it just starts digging clawed branched hands into your forearms.
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
Oh my god.
Oh, look at those initiatives.
It does.
Oh my god.
Wait, by the way, Fiddy, I was running an action.
Okay. Yeah, you can. I did hear you call it the readied drawed arrow when you saw him getting close. You may take one shot with that. One shot.
Okay.
I'll take it. Hit.
Right in the dick.
Because I was waiting for that.
That tree in the dick.
Give me that tree to drop it on.
Oh no.
You hit.
Whoa.
Yeah, that plus 8. That's awesome.
Dude. Hey-oh.
You immediately see it drop in one quick shot, and you see movement, Ezric, as you look at your torn, like the shadows almost parted where it dug into you, and there's blood.
Oh,
You
not that
see
shit again.
another
Space AIDS.
stirring.
Do you remember that?
I do.
Yeah, of course I do.
Oscar, you see this transpiring. Yeah.
I'll never forget.
We had hard space aids.
Amazing.
You still do.
I
You still do.
Told the dead.
It appears
I
to have
dedunked
no
it.
effect.
Yeah. Trees are immune.
No.
And the
We should have
tree
known.
starts shambling towards Ezric.
Ezric, look
And
out!
also tries to claw at you. Oh,
Oh.
disadvantage. Why do you get disadvantage?
Are you immune to trees?
Is it like
His
my God.
favorite enemy.
Hey, it says that
celestial?
it dropped to 20.
Oh my god.
What?
Hold
Is
on.
it undead?
Is
It
it
is like-
necrotic
what
or
the
radiant?
It is not undead.
It's about to make us a dead.
It's about to make Ezra get dead.
No, just Ezric.
Yep.
That is very bizarre. Hold on a second.
It gets a 20. You're dead. Again.
Don't know why it would drop. I'm gonna reroll the attack. Oh
I'm
shit!
immune to trees.
It's the wrong dude. He got disadvantaged because he's unconscious and bleeding. I'm bad at life. It's not his turn. Nalian. You quickly probably already reloaded. This guy
Should
is
do the tree.
back,
Certainly
still
did.
back there and moving, but has not yet moved.
Oh yeah, not a big deal.
Yeah.
Sidestep. A shoot. Wait, why do I have so many dice on my screen? Hold on. It doesn't look right. But there we go, that feels better.
Heyo.
Ooh. Yep.
Oh shit.
Heyo.
I shoot the game.
Yep. You
Wait.
technically-
Lightning's quick.
You technically still have your swift shot.
Wait.
I-
Why was that just a 6? Why did it not add?
Sorry. I accidentally shot damage instead of to hit.
I mean, shouldn't he have some bonuses to his 6 that he rolled?
Not to his 6 if it was his offhand or his swift shot.
Damn, dude.
That was his main shot.
Yeah, he rolled.
Was it not?
The wrong one the first time.
Oh, fucking
Wait, what's happening?
Casey.
What happened?
No,
I
no,
mean,
he's still
What
dead.
the fuck? You killed him, so
Yeah,
it doesn't
you
matter.
already shot him dead. You're
Yo,
splitting twigs.
what of it?
As both of them basically stay partially rooted in the ground and don't even actually literally fall over. You take down 2 more of these things before it kind of goes quiet. And as you all pause for a beat, you can kind of hear a distant voice almost echoing down from the south towards you, and it sounds not like a chorus chanting, but chanting in the sense that it's like speaking in a rhythmic kind of patterned way.
It's not a language, though. We can't discern the language. It's just like a beat.
You can't really hear it from here, but you do see much more intact walls, although still broken in places to the south, and they're about 20 feet high.
Let's continue forward. We're making good progress.
Hey, Nalian, you may want to grab your arrows before they get lost in the wood forever. That's all.
Nalian totally forgot this. Yeah, I know. I'm going to pick him up. It's
Yeah.
just-
Zahn doesn't even care and just moves around.
Okay. Before you head that way,
I will wait.
I need like 5 minutes to pee.
Okay.
All
right.
Things.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I hope we win.
We've been winning for like since the beginning. Are we just rolling? We just rolling
No,
here?
I'm getting this to get my arrows back.
Well, I'm fucking rolling.
Oh.
That was out of 100.
You slip and die immediately.
I don't recover any arrows. One of my arrows breaks.
Inside your butt.
No. Why was I putting it in my butt? That's a terrible place for an arrow.
That's where poop goes.
That's where poop goes.
Not right now, it doesn't.
Yeah. Not right now. It don't.
Thanks, Team Fortress.
But I poop from there.
Dude, I remember playing Team Fortress and they started making like spray that went on the walls.
Yeah. It was so
I was
good.
like, where did that come from? What is this? And then all of a sudden I looked at them like, oh. And they were like animated sprays too, so fun.
But I poop from there.
Not right now, you don't.
So confident. Man, I want to solve this Ezeric puzzle.
What puzzle, dude? I'm just fucking going.
Heading east.
You're cursed. You're
Yes.
cursed by a man that we have a lead on. That's rare.
Is that rare?
It is
Yeah.
rare.
He's in this goddamn tunnel.
Just
Yep.
living my life, dude. Living my undead life.
Well, you're living it better than our alive lives, so get us to the wherever we're going.
I'm just trying to figure out the best way to get uncursed. If I'm this strong now.
Whew.
Yeah, exactly.
You can be twice as cursed.
Hoo-wee.
I mean, half as cursed.
Which one's better?
I'm gonna double click on Fiddy.
Totally
he's
gonna
got
be spaced
delicious
out for
food.
like 5 or 10 minutes.
That's fine. The beast is muted. Talk about the game behind his back. I'm gonna roll a d20 to see if I murder the next monster. I do. For max damage. Meh, 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 meh.
But somehow he breaks an arrow into his buttocks.
Don't look at me like that.
Well, I was looking at the roll of dice, and I was like trying to make story out of what the dice rolls were. 9, 11, 6. I forgot about that.
Who hasn't put an arrow up thine own ass?
At least once or twice in your
Come
life.
on. Everyone's curious.
Hey guys, I think I have to duck out early tonight, but I would say keep going for sure if there's a way that's possible.
Oh. Well, maybe
Alright.
we should just, if you're gonna approach the south, maybe we should just do the approach and hang them off the cliff there.
Well, if you're gonna go into the trap room.
Yeah, I had the window.
Uh-oh, did your neighbors jump on you?
So yeah, I don't know story-wise like when a good time to do that is.
It would be now-ish.
Before you die.
Alright. Okay. Well, how would you approach the area up ahead? You were all indicating that you were heading this way, deeper into the grove.
Quietly.
I definitely use the
Quietly.
trees as
Quietly.
camouflage. I'm comfortable
Okay.
in the trees.
I would even consider looking over in this area before we go south.
Yeah, you find most of the area around here is more cleared out, though you see lots of foot traffic that appears to kind of go both to the west of the walled, kind of broken enclosure that's kind of like up on a bit of a hill in front of you, and also to the southeast. You don't get a
Does it look
sense
like-
that any of these are living trees in that sense.
I would want to be by the shadows. What's this area?
It's like a broken exterior tower shell. Again, about 25 feet in height most places, though broken bits of wall in between allow themselves to be openings. The ceiling or the cavern above is, all kinds of fungal, dimly lit growths. The ceiling is probably about 40 to 60 feet high in places.
40 to 60, holy shit.
Ezric's proceeding, trying to use the shadows as cover as much as possible as well.
So wait, did you say now is a good time to stop playing?
If your intent is to quietly approach this structure where you hear chanting, we can pretty much montage / cliffhang off of that if that's what the intent is.
Yeah, I mean, I would say we're gonna be pretty quiet through this part.
Yeah,
is my mind.
you're staying pretty quiet. And you do find some uprooted, disturbed patches of soil, but nothing there. Tracks and trails again appear to wrap both west and south around the shell of this place. And you hear this distant chanting getting louder and louder, and as you approach the walls and peer through broken bits of it, Nalian, you can see the massive stretching arms of an enormous black tree span up past the wall in front of you. And as you look in, and as some of the others get close and arguably look in, you see several figures standing in front of the tree. 3 of them humanoid. It kind of looks like this. And you hear a voice booming down, as if aware of your presence, and it's the hooded man with the gnarled staff, and he says, "Hold a moment. You know not what you do." And he's just kind of like standing there in front of the tree, looking down at you, or Nalian, or several of you. And it's here that we'll pick up next time, I suppose.
It's previous adventurers. It's the team they sent in before us.
Are they also escapees?
We'll find out next week.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh my god.
If I don't try to... Alright, GG's, guys.
Yeah.
GG.
Thanks, Fiddy.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's great.
We haven't died yet.
I know. I'm just waiting for.
We're not recaptured. This could definitely be it, though.
I know. Look at giant monsters. What the fuck?
You see a bunch of reverse U's.
Yeah. From the Shadow Realm.
Yep.
Mirror match.
I like it.
Yeah.
Alright, good night, guys. Later.
Yeah.
Later.
Later, dude.
Good night.
I like it.